Good evening and welcome back, Sector 1 race fans. Your on-track action tonight comes from Trial Mountain, located in Nevada, United States, making our way around this 4-kilometre mountain circuit. Our drives tonight will be navigating 15 corners with a wide range of slow, medium and high-speed bends. Watch out for the heavy braking zone at turn 9 at the backstretch and the slow final chicane of turns 14 and 15 for our major overtaking opportunities this evening. Our on-track schedule for tonight includes our Division 3 and Division 1 categories, with a 15-minute qualifying session each, followed by a 15-minute race with a formation lap. The format we have become acclimatised to over the past few weeks of racing. My name is Lenosis, and joining me in the commentary box tonight is Good Doc and Adam. How are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Good morning. Happy to be here, mate. It's good to be back.
Howdy, fellas.
Yeah, so Adam will be taking care of the Division 3 race tonight, and Good Doc will be helping us out on the Division 1 race. So, what are your guys' thoughts on tonight's track? It's not new, it's returning back to the game franchise since, was it in Gran Turismo 6? I'm not too sure, but
hard to remember, but it's a fan favourite and a lot of people were asking for it back. I'm very happy to receive it back with a couple of changes, of course, but yeah, very tricky track. Personally, I really struggle with this one, so quite glad to not be racing tonight, but a lot of challenges for these guys, and it'll be very interesting to see how they handle the undulation and sweeping turns of Trial Mountain.
Yeah, being a mountain track as well, there's lots of elevation and just a wide range of corners, as I said earlier. Like, you have the very quick first section. Straight after you come out of that first tunnel, you go straight into a very technical section, and then the flat out sweepers of turns 9 and I think it's 12 that are just slightly like positive camber that just hold the drivers in, and it's really hard to get a setup for this track. So it'll be interesting to see who actually sets up their car in the right way for tonight. So I think we might just head across and have a look at the points for Division 3 from last week. Hang on. So my streaming software has just had a bit of a moment and it does not want to display the points for us now. But winning last week's race was Dadson, followed by Stranger, followed by Gurr. And after a penalty, Filthy was dropped down to 7th, with Carbon Boy eventually taking up that 4th position. And I'm not too sure who was after that. Hang on, I'm terribly sorry for this. I've lost the file, but
all we know is Dadson Racing got a podium in every race they participated in. So watch out for their drivers this week, because they were on fire last week at their home tracks in Class C. But it'll be interesting to see how they fare at Trial Mountain. Looks like Dadson's definitely got his pace on here tonight from practice. So definitely one to watch. 2 drivers in Div 3 from Dadson Racing, and one will be competing in Div 1 later on as well.
yeah, so sorry about that, but we have the points now. So Dadson won that race. Stranger in 2nd, Gurr 4th, 3rd, Filthy 4th on track, but he got a 5-point penalty from the stewards, so that drops him quite a far way down the order. But Carbon Boy in 5th, Grassy 6th, Killer on the Loose 7th, Daz 8th, 9th, Benia, VF 10th, S-Mid 11th, and Prua had a disconnect, and the official decision from the stewards was to award him half points for, in last place, as he was here for the start of the race for the formation lap, but disconnected, unfortunately.
I'll just clarify that slightly too. We did give him the option to run the following week in Group 4, but he wasn't available, so we ended up giving him points for last on for Group 3.
Yeah, and important to mention that Dadson got the fastest lap and Stranger with the pole position. So we're coming up to 7 o'clock now. I think the Division 3 qualifying is just about to get underway. Do we have an ETA on that, Adam?
We can kick off any time, mate. I see no issues on track at the moment. Our test runs were very successful, so I think we are all good to go.
All right. So you just need to change the lobby settings to start the qualifying now, don't you?
Yep, that's the one, and that's them shooting through now. So these guys can get straight out on track for 15 minutes of qualifying. Should be interesting. Should be exciting. Low wind for us in this qualifying session, 1.6 meters per second. A bit of a tailwind on that back straight, which should prove quite interesting. And I think we might see speeds up to 3.5 meters per second tonight. So depends how quickly the conditions change. The guys will have to have their wits about them, and it could change to any direction as well. So definitely something that the drivers will want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. And we also saw last week at St. Croix in the Division 2 race, the wind changed directions like 4 or 5 times throughout that race. So it's very unpredictable in this game so far. But S-Mid, first on track, first one to leading the pack as he comes through the second tunnel now into the third tunnel, which leads back onto the back straight. And behind him is Prua in the Gallagher Obsession Motorsport entry, and Daz behind him in the Deeds, Stranger in the Doghouse entry in 4th, Killer in the Green Beacon Red Mist Racing 5th, and Grassy's 6th position in his Fanatec Mercedes. Gurr in 7th in the Dadson. Yes, sorry.
Have you not got Dadson on track on your screen? He's currently running 4th.
On my times, it says that he's running 11th, but
okay, but you can visually see him?
Yeah, it's just a bit of a muck-up in the...
timing tower glitch,
yeah.
That's no worries.
All right,
I was panicking for a second there.
Yeah, rightfully so. And Filthy is 8th on my times in the Ammo Jaguar. Benia in 9th in the Ascension Racing. He's one of yours, isn't he, Adam?
He is indeed. So he comes into this race with mixed hopes. Definitely aiming for an upper half of the field finish, which I think is respectable for anyone in this lobby. It's a very, very high competition lobby. I think the likes of Dadson and those guys who were kind of up the front last round almost deserve to be in the next division up. But obviously locked divisions for this season, which will make things very interesting for these guys. But I'm expecting to see a lot of good fights up and down the field here tonight.
Yeah, for sure, especially after that first week of racing. They were the first guys for us to race on St. Croix, opening up the Sector 1 Supercars Championships, and that was a spectacular race, if I do say so myself. It had everything.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of a slipperier lobby, and it just caught a few drivers out, and it gave us a lot of drama, a lot of overtakes, and it was overall a good race. So,
proving to that the Astons appear to be the best choice for car selection for these guys. They were pretty effective up and down in those cars. So I think it might have been every race was won by an Aston, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. No, wait, yes. No. Division 4 was Rex in the Mustang.
That's right, yep. So going against the grain, the only Mustang in the entire championship. So awesome to see. But the other three, yeah, Aston's up and down, and they appear to be the fastest car around Trial Mountain tonight as well. We've seen some very quick times from some guys driving Astons, so it should be very interesting to see how they sort of play out. We are expecting big things from Dadson, of course, tonight, as Smitty comes to the line for the first time, also driving an Aston, the Green Beacon entry from Red Mist. Comes across the line with a 52.8 to kick things off.
That is very respectable for this category.
See if Dadson's got him covered, does he? 51 to 53, not quite enough. So Smitty provisionally first and might stay there for the first round of laps.
Stranger puts in a 53.2 as well, just 11 thousandths off Dadson. As Killer puts himself in
Grassy's
front
to
of
the
Gurr.
top. There we go.
Oh, that's
52.7. Hard to split them as well. Gurr up there too. There's less than a tenth between each driver and the top three.
And somebody is backwards into the...
It's Killer on the loose. Yep, he's spun it in the opening S's. That dodge, it sounds like it's a bit of a handful under brakes and over those undulating surfaces. He's got a bit of damage to his rear area, but he'll be able to get around and go for another lap. He's currently sitting with a 54.8. He's going to need half a second more if he wants to pick up another position on the grid.
I had a bit of a heart attack for a second there because my game froze up, but it seems to have sorted out the issues. That happened in the Division 1 qualifying.
Yeah, not the first time we'd see that.
Yeah.
Eh?
It seems to have sorted itself out for now.
A half second on Grassy's, so he won't be setting a time this lap. If he's smart, he'll pull into the pits and change his tyres and serve that penalty on the... Oh, he's nearly 2 tenths up though. He's not going to be happy about that, but it gets a bit loose through there. That's probably ruined it, so I can breathe a sigh of relief. That penalty's not going to affect him too bad. He'll serve it on the exit of the pit lane once he comes out, if he does go through there.
Yeah, and
I expect him to.
Quietly achieving there, Gurr and S-Mid, they're very, very close to Grassy's.
Gurr was on the podium last time out. In fact, he's actually got a penalty himself now, and he's running along through. Dadson to the top. Dadson goes to provisional pole, 2 tenths clear of Grassy's.
Oh, he'll be happy with that one.
So 2 Dadson cars on the podium provisionally, once again. Starting to see a recurring theme here. Has anyone checked the setup on those Dadson cars, made sure they're within regulations?
Well, I hear they've got Kiwi Raikkonen making half of those Aston tunes, even though he's driving the Corvette himself. But yeah, it's they've really managed to hook those Astons up. Got an edge over the competition, driving them in a way that we haven't really seen anyone else do so far.
Yeah, seemed very effective driving from the Dadson team up and down. All podiums last round, and it looks like they're expecting much of the same. And Dadson will be really happy with this turn of form that he's showing at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I've been speaking to him, and he's putting in a lot of effort and a lot of practice, trying to get the maximum lap time out of his car as possible. So he'll be very happy with where he finds himself in this championship battle early on.
Yeah, taking on that Div 3 title will be a really good goal for him. I think he can definitely do it. He's got the pace too, just needs to make sure he's consistent all the way through. So he'll peel into the pits now for a fresh set of boots. Only halfway through this qualifying session now, and the guys have already had 2 opportunities to set a lap time. Very different from what we experienced at St. Croix, where they only got 2 laps at best.
Yeah, this track is about half the distance of St. Croix. I think St. Croix was 10.8 kilometers, where this one's only coming in at 4 kilometers, but it's also a lot more technical, and it doesn't have as big straights that St. Croix did. So you see a bit of lap time. The lap time's coming in at around 1 minute 51 or 52 as we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, we found that we had to adjust the gearboxes on our tunes at ASR to compensate for the shorter straights here. There is a fair bit of pace you can build up on that back straight here, but it's just not quite the same as the Croix C back straight, which was absolutely miles long.
Yeah, as we see Grassy starting his flying lap now. I think we might just ride on board with Grassis and see how he tackles the mountain.
He's got a bit of traffic in front of him here as well with Gurr, who's on an outlap at the moment, so he's going to hopefully pull over to let him through in a moment, unless he proves himself to be faster, which he very well might. But he risks giving a toe to Grassis here down the back straight, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah, and Grassis going purple in that first sector by 11 thousandths of a second. As they head onto the back straight now. The heaviest braking zone on the track into turn 9 at the end of this backstretch.
Wow, he's giving him a massive toe down this back straight. Dadson's not going to be happy about that, because this is really not doing his own team many favours here. That was definitely within a second range there for Grassis, but he's gone a bit deep in the corner at the end of the straight to compensate for that. So he may not have gained too much, but he is up on his own time. Not quite up on what Dadson's put on the board, but I think Grassis is probably going to challenge Dadson for the lead of this race.
As they come through the final sector, and the Mercedes is very confident in these technical sections of the track as he comes into the
He's going to get that toe down the main straight as well here, isn't he?
Yeah, for
Gurr
sure.
has not done his teammates any favours here. He might have just granted Grassis a free pole position. Look at this. Down the straight they come. He's well and truly within the slipstream range. Just ticking over to 1 minute 50 now. 1, 2. It's not quite going to be pole. In fact, it's not even a personal best, so he's not had the best final sector there. But yeah, Gurr really not working too hard to make sure he doesn't give him that toe. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's a massive moment into the second turn.
I think he'll be riding this lap off after that one. That first sector is crucial to a good lap time here. It's really easy to drop a whole lot of time if you're not careful.
Yeah, for sure. And VF, after a very quiet and disappointing race last time out at St. Croix, finds himself qualifying in P6, 7.5 tenths off the leader. This is a very, very tight qualifying so far between these front few. Only a few tenths separating the top, like 10. Yeah, second separating 8th to first. So very tight at the moment.
Pretty good. Dadson is 2.5 tenths purple through the second sector here, so he's looking at improving right about now.
Just needs to have got this final sector, and he should have pole position.
Yeah, he's got it locked down. He's definitely got the Aston hooked up. He's pushing it to the limit, almost overheating that right front tyre there through that that last corner there before the chicane. Let's see how he goes through here. Does he drop the first gear? No, uses second all the way through. Onto the main straight. How much faster is he going to be? I could see him going 3 tenths clear of his best now. We could see a 51 even.
Oh, that's quick.
Oh, 52.004. That is about as close as you can get to a sub 52, and we're talking about Div 1 range right there. So this is fantastic driving from Dadson here. The Stranger as well, just under the radar a little bit there, has gone to provisional P2, and Grassis has been demoted to 4th by Gurr as well, who's set a faster time of 52.4.
Yeah,
52.2 there for Stranger, so that kind of came out of nowhere a little bit, but a fantastic lap from him to put himself on the front row.
Take a bow, Dadson. That is an absolutely astonishing lap. He was complaining earlier in the week about that he couldn't get into the 52s, but look at him now, almost into the 51s, only 4 thousandths of a second off that 51.
Wow. And that just shows that practice pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I don't mean to speak too soon, but I think Dadson is in with a great chance of the pole position here, currently sitting provisional P1 for Dadson Racing.
Well, the Stranger isn't going to be able to challenge him because with 2 minutes left on the clock, he's only got time for one more lap, but that lap is going to be seriously hindered by the half second he picked up in the first sector of this lap, because you have to serve that penalty pretty much as you cross the start-finish line, so it will severely impact his next lap. He's not going to improve, I don't think. So yeah, he's locked in with the time he's currently got. Gurr might be able to challenge. He's not on for a personal best this lap. He's only going to get one more bite at the cherry, I think. Grassis is the other one to watch, of course. Smitty actually, just quietly, not far off Grassis as well. Just a 10.5, just finished an outlap. He's on fresh tyres. So he's actually linked this up quite well. So he's got time for he might even get 2 more laps in here. What's he got left? No, it'll be his final lap this time around. But he's going to do his final qualifying lap on the freshest tyres with the least fuel in the car. So he will definitely be one to keep an eye on. Grassy's coming through to set a lap time here. Gur as well. What's he got in his pocket?
This is going to be a good lap.
That's an improvement. He can't quite clear Stranger though. 1/10 improvement from Grassy's. He stays where he is. The gaps are changing, but the positions aren't. Smitty now has to make up 2.5 tenths if he wants an extra position, but he's a 10th purple through Sector 1. Keep your eyes on Smitty. The Green Beacon Red Mist racing car is on a warpath here. Onto the back straight. A little bit of an error through that corner coming out of the tunnel, but we'll see if it affects him too much. He's still, even though he's potentially made a mistake there, he was 10th up on Dadson's time, and I think even with a mistake like that, he could definitely see himself clearing a couple of cars in front of him, so keep an eye on him. Onto the end of 6th gear, up to 284 kilometers an hour. Howard's up the hill, 2nd gear, 3rd gear. Still a 10th
massively
purple.
up.
He's on it here. Go, Smitty, go.
Could S-Mid take away pole position from Dadson Racing? Oh, he's hit the wall!
Exit there.
He's hit
That's
the
a huge
wall!
mistake. It might cost him dear. You can see the nerves coming in now. He knows he's got it if he can get it, but he's got to get it all the way to the end. Does he hit his brake marker here for the final sequence of corners? He turns it in just right. Get on the power, Smitty. Come on, mate. You can do it. All the way to the exit.
Massive
He's very
moment!
loose on exit there. I don't think he's going to get him. I think he might just be on the front row, though. Let's see what he gets. Into the 150s. A 51. A 52. He's provisional P2 there with a couple of guys yet to set a lap. The Stranger behind him.
Oh, what could have been for S-Mid? That was still a mega lap, though. Absolutely hooked up his car. But that 3rd sector just took away from what was so good in that 1st and 2nd sector for him. Unfortunately, just tapping that wall and he's hit the wall again there. But
We've got a spin there, a couple. Smitty. And who was that as well? Someone behind him. Pruer as well. There might have been contact there, I don't know.
I don't think so.
So a couple of guys coming across to set their final lap time here. Killer on the loose. Can he get out of last position here? He does improve, but it's not enough to go to P10. VF coming across the line.
And Benny
No improvement.
Across. So this is the starting position. So we have Dadson on pole, S-Mid in 2nd, Stranger 3rd, Gur 4th, Pruer 5th, Grassy 6th, Daz 7th, Benya 8th, Filthy 9th, VF 10th, and Killer 11th.
Alright, well, we are ready to kick these guys off. Let them take to the grid, get the pit crews off and back into the pits and take them out on a formation lap.
So of course, we are starting under safety car for a formation lap. As we have seen in the last about a month of racing we've had here at Sector 1.
Alright, and the cars are away, they cruise off the line. They should be pretty used to the rolling start sequence here tonight after going through it at St. Croix, although there may have been a couple of absences for guys who perhaps weren't there on the night and haven't had a go at this, but we've got some pretty experienced guys up the front in Dadson and S-Mid, mate. So they should be able to control the field nicely here, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll just run through the pack. So it's Dadson in pole position, and it is S-Mid in 2nd, Stranger 3rd, Gur 4th, Pruer 6th, Grassy's 6th, Daz 7th, Benya 8th, Filthy 9th, VF 10th, and Killer rounding out the grid in 11th position. And do we have any ideas of how quick the formation lap is around here, Adam?
It's about 3 minutes, probably just shy of it.
All right.
So we're looking at about 47 minutes of racing for these guys total, which should be plenty of time for them all to sort out their positions along the way.
Yeah, so it should
We'll probably
be
expect a one stop again as well. I'm not sure though.
Should be a one stop, but it should be around 27, 28 laps, around that mark. So we'll see how many laps they get done tonight. As they come into the final sector now. So Dadson, he will get to choose the pace, set the pace that he wants to set, and he can go as soon as he passes the last pit box on the front straight.
Or the first, depending on which way you look at it. But yes, as soon as they get to what is the official grid, they are free to go, or Dadson is free to go rather, and everyone else must wait for him before they can get moving.
Yeah, that's the pole position advantage that you get in this series.
Yeah, the good thing about that is that pole position pretty much guarantees that you will be ahead at turn 1, because the second place driver just cannot anticipate when you're going to go.
As they round the final corner.
Here we go, onto the main straight for these guys.
It seems like such a long run from the last corner to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and the finish line is surprisingly far down the straight, and away they go. 3 minutes 20 on the clock as they cross the line. So about 46.5 minutes of racing for these guys. Dadson leads.
And Esmed got a good start, and Stranger in third, holds on to his position, same as Gur and Grassy's in fifth. And it looks like Benny is going for a move on Brewer here, and he ducks it down the inside and makes that move successfully as they come through to finish up the first sector. As we see Esmed right on the back of Dadson here, and Stranger right on the back of Esmed. They're really fighting hammer and tongs here for the lead of the race in this early stages. As they come down the back straight for the first time through turn 8. And Esmed, he's going to get the slipstream, and he might
be able to go for it here.
Yeah, down into turn 9. And he is going to go for it.
That's a no defense put up. He's not letting him have it, but he didn't pull to the inside there, which was an interesting tactic. Well held from Dadson there, I think.
And there was somebody smoking in the
background.
Very loose,
Dadson, very loose.
Oh!
Smitty gets contact from the Stranger. They all settle back down.
On the inside. And he's going to try it again, maybe?
Smitty's showing the nose. He's putting the pressure down real early here. No mess about it. He's got a great run coming out of the hairpin. He's going to go down the inside on the way into the final chicane. Is he too late on the brakes? No, he makes the apex perfectly. Dadson's trying to hold it around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. Smitty on the outside there, side by side onto the main straight. Smitty's in the
contact.
Wall. Oh no! Not the way we wanted to end that exchange, but Smitty ends up touching the barrier. Unfortunately, from contact there, the Stranger's only got so much space here. Smitty drops to P3 here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure whether Dadson squeezed him, just ran him out of room, but we'll have to see what the stewards have to say after the race for that one.
It was tight. Dadson's teammate down in P4, looking to cement that podium position once again. He's going to have to challenge Smitty or the Stranger for it. These front three are going at it hammer and tongs. Smitty is not messing about. He's showing the nose every corner.
And Stranger, he doesn't want Dadson to get away from him either, so he's going to be pushing as hard as he can to stay within that slipstream range at Dadson. The gap is 5 tenths now. Looks like S-Mid's got the run on him as well, on Stranger.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough for the Stranger to make a move on Dadson. Looks like he's fuel saving a bit on this back straight because he's not pulling any time. Smitty pushing down as well. Keeping it close all the way. There's a good battle down there for P5. Benier and Grassy's going at it. Grassy's does have a half second if cutting the track somewhere, which he'll serve on the main straight here. So they will probably drop him behind Pruer as well.
Yeah, as we see Stranger, he's just outside of that slipstream range now. The golden number's about 7.5 tenths. So Dadson, he can just sort of skip away now as S-Mid thinks about a move on Stranger into turn 14 again. As we see Gur, does he get around? No. I thought Benier might have been going for a move on Gur.
Benier's got a half second here as well. He's not going to serve it this time around though. He's going to serve it on the next lap. I don't know where he's picked that up.
Yeah, so Grassy drops behind Pruer now.
Smitty's through on the Stranger. I don't know when that happened, but we've missed an overtake there. Smitty will be ruining what could have been here because he's still within the toe of Dadson as he has a great run through the first sector there. That was fantastic. So he's closed right up to Dadson. So maybe he won't be ruining what could have been because it looks like he's managing to fix his problems all on his own.
Yeah, S-Mid very aggressive in these early stages of the race. He had the pace in qualifying and he's 3 tenths up on the fastest lap from Dadson in that first sector. S-Mid as they come through turn 8 now, the sweeper. It's important to get your line perfect, otherwise it throws you into that outside wall as they come down the big straight, and he's gaining on
Smitty's going to go for it. He's not interested in fuel saving here. He's pushing as hard as he can. He does have a fuel deficit on Dadson already, which is proving very interesting. I think that's going to be something that affects him later on. The race goes very deep at the hairpin. Can Dadson get a switchback on him here? He can indeed, and through he goes.
But that outside line turns into the inside. Oh, Dadson closing off the door. Very aggressive defense from Dadson, but it works for him and he's back into the lead of the race.
Smitty is trying everything he can, and this is great to watch, and I know that our historically favourite Sector 1 commentator, Ghost, or Sean as a lot of people knew him, he would have been absolutely chomping this up because if there's one thing that he hated, it was people sitting in a procession and just waiting for the right opportunity to pass. Smitty's going for it at every corner he can, and he's not wasting any time. So this is entertainment at its finest. The unfortunate downside of it though is Smitty has used up more tyre and more fuel than Dadson, and we're only on lap 5. So you know that he's pushing his car a little bit too hard, but we'll see what he can do towards the end of the race. Maybe he's figured out a 2-stop strategy that'll come into effect over the 1-stoppers, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that gap now just 3 tenths between S-Mid and Dadson.
We got Glassy's going for a move on Pruski as well. Back at the tunnel, up the inside. Bit of contact on the way through. The 2 Mercs going at it. Looks like Prua's going to get back through though.
He's got the inside for this turn 5.
I think Grassy's might have been redressing that perhaps. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Well, he's gone for it again.
He's gone for it again.
Gets the move
good
done,
that time.
Prua's still holding on. This is spectacular side-by-side racing by these two.
This is fantastic. This is what it's all about.
That wall! I thought Grassy's was a bit wide there.
I can see this happening again into the hairpin as well. Smitty as well. Up in P2 is going to go for the move on Dadson once again. Can he get his braking right this time?
Seems like he's just bumping him along, Grassy's.
Through goes Smitty. We have a lead change, everyone. A red mist car is leading the way. Grassy's down the inside of Pruer as well for P5. Oh. There we go, he's through.
Stranger thought about a move on Dadson there as well, but side by side through that turn 11 is you do not want to go through there.
Yeah, Dadson's got to be careful here. I think he can afford to let Smitty through because Smitty's really killing his car at the moment, but he does not want to let the Stranger through because he's driving as smart as Dadson is. So he needs to maintain that P2 at worst. Try stick with Smitty because that's a golden pace right there up the front, and sitting behind Smitty for a while will definitely reap benefits for Dadson here.
Yeah, that gap now just 8 tenths. Just outside of slipstream range, but Dadson, by the sounds of it, does he have the better car underneath him?
We got Filthy 7.5 second on the main straight. Might drop him into the clutches of Killer on the loose for P7 here.
Yeah, Killer's made up 4 positions already this race. He's had a pretty good
He's having a
first 5
great
laps.
run. Yeah, he's doing very well. That's the second of the red mist entries on track at the moment, so Smitty obviously leading the way.
Oh.
Killer up there, we got a yellow flag.
flags.
Who's off track? That's the stranger. He's gone around. Unfortunately, we can't get a replay. He's got engine damage, front wing, and left front tyre damage. That's race over. He was doing really well too, but that's him out of the battle for the lead positions. I don't know if there was an altercation with Dadson there, but it is very easy to lose the car at that particular part of the track, so it could have been a mistake on his own.
Yeah, and as that incident happens, I believe Benia was a lot higher than where he finds himself now. Wasn't he 5th position?
I think he ended up dropping down as the qualifying went on, and he was about P8 towards the end of it, if I remember correctly. But he's just chugging along, having a bit of a quiet race. He'll be wanting to chase down Killer if he can, though.
Yeah, for sure. Eyes forwards as we see Brewer. He's just dropped off the back of Grassy's a little bit now. 8.5 tenths the gap between those two as they come to the final sector.
Yep, Grassy's definitely needed to get by there. It looks like Brewer was indeed holding him up. We know Brewer's not one to give up a position lightly, so he would have been expecting that.
As we see coming into the first turn, and it seems like Dadson's just holding on to the back of S-Mid. He's closed up that gap about 2 tenths. And what about this? Dadson 2-3, another Dadson podium. Could it be on once again?
Well, the Strangers made it easy for them because he was the other candidate for the podium, but he's now more or less out of this race down in P11. We'll see if he can recover, but yeah, Dadson with 2 podium positions at the moment, keep their streak alive. Might be a record for Sector 1, how many podiums a team can get in a certain amount of rounds, but yeah, Dadson doing exactly what he needs to right now and staying within slipstream range of Smitty in front of him. Because Smitty obviously pushing his car a lot harder, using a lot more fuel. Going purple on this lap as well. He's got the purple lap with a 52.9 here. Pulled the gap out to just over a second there, but an error's brought him back a little bit towards Dadson, and Dadson's going to get a nice tow down this back straight here.
Yeah, so Dadson Racing, last round at St. Croix, their entire team were on the podium, with Kiwi with the second place, Dadson with the win, Gurr in a 3rd position, and Stickers in that Div 2 race with a 3rd position. So if the race ends as it stands, that'll be 6 consecutive podiums for Dadson Racing. How's that for
they're having a fantastic season. They'll be absolutely kicking themselves that there's no teams championship this time around, but you know, I think the bragging rights are there, and you know, that's just a huge feat for these guys. You'd have to check the Sector 1 history books to find out if there is a round where a team scored all podiums for all 4 drivers, but either way, fantastic achievement and not something we see very often at all.
Yeah, it's a mega stat for Dadson Racing, that's for sure.
Yep, and they might be padding it even more here with Gurr and Dadson both sitting on the podium at the moment with a 2-second buffer, 3-second buffer even, back to Grassy's behind Pruski, who's actually closed up to Grassy's a little bit here as well.
Yeah, but Dadson, he must have just made a small mistake because he's about 1.5 seconds off the back of S-Mid, and he's fallen back to a 7 tenths and a half to his teammate behind, so maybe just...
Gurr's really looking after his car though. He's done fantastic on his tyres here. He's got the best in the field right now. So I think these guys are going to be absolutely fine. I don't know if we might have touched on it last week during our second spiel of round 1. That the tyre wear model in the game has changed very recently. There was a puncture mechanic previously. You run your tyres all the way to the red, you get a puncture. What I learned earlier this week is that with the new system, you gradually lose time as the tyres wear, which is excellent. It's what we're very used to here. But you can wear them all the way to the red, and they do not puncture. They're just quite slow. So I actually saw some people running tyres in the red in an actual race earlier this week. So we might see a bit of that here at Sector 1 as well.
Yeah, so the pit window is about lap 12 to about lap 16. That's where we're roughly going to be expecting everyone to pit. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if people try and prolong that first stint and try and come home hard with an overcut of sorts around this track. But by the looks of the lap times, the drivers only seem to be getting quicker around here, especially looking at Gurr's times.
Yep.
And Dadson is more or less the same pace that he has been this entire race, just very consistent. And Esmid running all over the show. It's not great for consistency, but he finds himself 1.6 seconds, really pushing that car on the edge of its limits.
Yeah, he's doing well up there. Gurr's done a really impressive job looking after his tyres here. I think it's hard to overstate the difference that he's got. He's got nearly half the wear that his teammate Dadson has in front of him, and the same fuel. So these guys have clearly, you know, put themselves through the paces for this track and figured out, you know, how much fuel to use, where to shift the car and all that sort of thing, because they're looking very similar on the fuel save at the moment, with you know, nearly 10% by the looks of things more than Smitty in front, which is worth about 2 seconds in the pits, maybe even more. So definitely got something right here, these guys at Dadson, and now sitting on the podium, 2 podium positions. Can't argue with that, can you?
No, not at all. But very good stuff from the Dadson cars. They're holding onto their cars really well, and they've got great pace to come along with it. So I think we might just run through the race order, because we haven't done that in full since, I think, lap 2. So Esmid leads the way, Dadson in second, Gurr in third, Grassy's in fourth, edging out a bit of a gap to Pruitt behind, about 1.3 seconds. Pruitt in fifth, Filthy in sixth, finds himself in a bit of no man's land, Filthy, but in the Jaguar. He got the podium on track at St. Croix, but unfortunately he wasn't able to keep that, getting quite a harsh penalty of 5 penalty points for his efforts at St. Croix. But Benia sitting in 7th, he's made up a position since last time we saw him. He's got in front of Killer, and Killer right on the back of Benia here. He might be going for a move down to turn 14, thinks about it, but doesn't end up going for it. And of course, Killer in 8th position. Daz,
I think Killer's actually lost out to Benia at some point previously, because I'm pretty sure Killer was in front of him. I could be wrong.
Yes, he was.
A good-sized battle pack there as well, just queuing up behind Benia, by the way. Daz and VF sitting there too.
Yeah, great race from all these guys. I would imagine... Oh, is that Ben? I mean, VF going from... I thought he might have been going for a move in the background there, but... pulled out,
that Viper just likes to lift its front tyres off the ground to assert dominance over that crest.
It's like standing up like a snake.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, that's pretty fitting, considering the name, I think. But I'm going to out VF quickly here as well. He is operating traction control at the moment, so maybe a rear tyre wear saving strategy for that, to use a bit of traction control to maintain the revs on exit of the corners. But the only driver in the field currently operating that, so let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, so I think he is currently where he started the race in 10th position. And
yeah, it was Killer in P11, I think, so.
Yes. And Stranger, he's starting to tag along to the back of this pack, so we got to keep an eye on him, see if he tries to make his way through the field after his unfortunate mistake into the first sector. But he's absolutely blistering a 52.8. He currently holds the fastest lap, and he isn't showing any signs of slowing down, as he was only a 10th off his personal best time coming into this final sector now, and he is just taking shreds of time out of VF. He's already closed up 7/10 since we've been sitting here watching him, so we might just tag on for a little bit and just see how he navigates this battle pack in front of him, this 5-car battle pack.
It should be interesting for the Stranger, because he definitely had race-winning pace up there, so we get to watch. I think he's used a lot of fuel here though. I think he's burning through it quite fast, so he's decided I just want to have fun and drive fast. at this point. So doing his best Ricky Bobby impersonation.
Yeah. As they come through the first sector, and he's just closing up that time even more.
I think he'll struggle to get some overtakes done here because all the drivers in front of him are slipstream assisted. So if he gets to them on a straight and pulls out of the slipstream train, he's going to end up losing speed in the straight line.
Yeah, that's correct. As they
Valuable fastest lap point though, 52.8. Considering we only saw a 52 flat in qualifying, that's pretty damn good. But I think after our first round of pit stops, we'll probably see some faster laps being set because Smitty's on a warpath, and I think
he goes for the move 3 wide.
There we go.
As Stranger.
Here he goes, gone through on 2 of them. Killer here as well. Can he challenge? A bit too late on the brakes.
As VF
He's overheating his right front. He's got no grip on that right front corner. He's straight in the wall. Oh no.
Oh. And Stranger's making short work of this rear battle pack, as he can get the move on Stranger down into turn 14, I think. As they come through 13 now.
Killer's got a rear mirror full of dangerous Aston Martin. Doghouse, I think. Yeah,
yes,
Doghouse Racing.
Motorsport.
Down the inside into the chicane, surely. No, he doesn't. Just applying the pressure, but not going for a move there. He'll probably look for something into turn 1, surely.
Yeah, if,
here we go, down the straight.
Doesn't get a good exit through that.
He's done it right there, his Killer. So I think he might be safe. It's not a big enough braking zone here, really.
Yeah, you don't really want to go side by side through this first section of turns. There's a lot of off-camber stuff on the outside, and that's going to send you straight into the wall. There's lots of tyre screeches coming from Killer's car.
Oh, around the outside from the Stranger, surely not.
It.
There's so much camber on the inside of that corner. It's
right
like the cutting
under the rear wing.
At Bathurst, that corner. You have to be on the inside, otherwise you're going to be nowhere.
Well, regardless of what happens, Stranger is going to get a massive look down the back straight as they come through turn 8 now.
So he's going to get a run too, I think. He's definitely got the pace over Killer here.
Oh.
The red mist car trying to make itself as wide as possible. The Stranger's going to have to go late on the brakes though. He hasn't got the pace in a straight line here to get by. What's Killer going to do?
Does he go for the move? He peels
down the
out.
Inside. Here we go.
Sticks it down the
too
inside.
Deep. Way too deep.
Oh.
Killer goes back through. Easily as well. You're going to be side by side. Killer backs out. Killer lets him have it.
Yeah, that's the inside line. That's another corner you don't want to go side by side through. I think that's the correct decision from Killer there. He didn't want either of them to end up in a wall.
We got a big change up the front here. Smitty is falling back into the clutches of Datsun now. His tyres are starting to fall off a cliff and his fuel is way down. He's going to get jumped by a mile by these guys in the pit window, I think. So we're ending, we just started lap 13 or lap 12 if we count the formation lap. Just about to hit the halfway point.
Yeah, so expect drivers to pit within the next 3 laps. The window is basically open now. As I think Gur and Dadson are just trying to work together. How's Gur and Dadsun's car weighing up against Esmid's car?
Oh, it's night and day. Smitty's got probably 15, nearly 20% less fuel than these guys, and he's got half-worn left front tyre, and Dadson's probably about 40% worn on the left front, and Gur is just like hardly even a quarter worn on his worst tyre. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but he is nursing those tyres to a fault. He needs to get by Dadson here actually, because it's probably better for the team if he goes through, to be honest, but he bumps him along the back straight here. He's got pace over Dadson now. His car is in much better condition. He needs to go through. But team orders, Dadson is the team boss, so what he says goes. So Gur might be hesitant to pass him here. But if they want to catch Smitty, they've let him go a little bit on this lap actually. But yeah, I think Dadson should really let Gur through, and they'll give themselves more of a fighting chance.
Yeah, I think Gur is just thinking about the pit stop. trying to save his car as much as possible, and then jumping on the opportunity that the people in front of him have much worse cars and have to put in more fuel on top
Grassy's
of it.
into the pits for the first pit stop of the day. 26% fuel on board. He's got about the same as Gur and Dadson
Filthy
there.
follows him.
And Smitty way down. He's probably about to hit the fuel light here, I think. So yeah, just about 15% less fuel than the others.
Oh, it looks like Benny has had a moment somewhere as well.
Smitty's off! Smitty's off! He's off before the tunnel through the S's. He's lost a lot of time. He's got dirty tyres, but he's recovered it somehow. He's loose as though he's really losing control of his car.
Yeah,
he's down to the fuel light now. He's got less than 10% fuel on board. The guy's behind 1.3 down. I think he has to.
His own time.
Yeah, it was a big error through that first sector, but he's managed to gather it up and do a bit of damage limitation. But I really want to see him pit and get that fuel up. See if he can challenge Dadson and Gur for the front position here. Because I think he's got the pace for it, but he just hasn't fuel saved the same as the guys behind him. He's used so much more. And yeah, Dadson and Gur's on 25% exactly, and Dadson's on 26, 27, while Smitty's on probably 8, 7. He's really low right now.
Yeah, and having less fuel on board when you come into the pits, it's just going to waste away that gap, and he's a difference like that could be worth up to like 3 or 4 seconds.
23 minutes to go for these guys. Smitty comes into the pits now. Will Dadson and Gur follow him? Gur should go around again, but Gur doesn't. He should have gone around again. Oh no, they could have overcut Dadson. They could have played a clever strategy there, but pitting on the same lap there, 23 minutes remaining at the time of pit entry. We had about 46.5 minutes of racing once we finally got across the line on the formation lap. So that leaves us, 23 minutes is bang on halfway for these guys. So they're probably going to do an identical stint, perhaps one extra lap at the end. So we're going to see 13 more laps from these guys, I think.
Yeah, Grass something must have happened when he was coming out of the pits, but he's picked up a 3-second time penalty.
3 seconds. That's probably for crossing the pit lane lines.
Yeah. That is not.
That's unfortunate. But you look at that, Smitty with 5% fuel on board and Dadson with 25. That's a 20% difference. And 5 litres a second refuel rate. That's 4 seconds that Smitty's going to lose to him in the pits. Gur's out first. Gur's out long gone. Gur didn't put fuel. Gur didn't put any fuel in his car. He's put new tyres on and no fuel. That's throwing everything sideways. Dadson's past Smitty.
No.
There was contact there through the first couple of corners. I didn't see exactly what happened, but Smitty's lost out a second there. No damage to report, but that was very interesting. But Smitty's a lot closer than I thought he would be. Dadson's fueled right up. I think we might be seeing a mistake from Smitty that we saw in the first round from Distinct Andrew. He's been hoodwinked by his fuel lap count because of the anomaly of the safety car lap.
Yeah, but Gur, what's happened there? He must have just accidentally clicked the button.
It's a misclick for sure. He's accidentally gone too far. He's clicked the no refuel button, and he's going to have to lose himself, 20 plus seconds here to get fuel in the tank. It's a long pit stop for fuel, and I think he might find himself behind Pruski and Filthy.
Yeah, for sure. This is not what you want.
No, they'll be absolutely gutted. He may be able to fight back and get himself a podium though. Grasses and Pruski won't make it easy for him, but the opportunity's still there. The question is, does he continue on for a couple of laps? No, he comes straight in. So he won't change tyres, I don't imagine, and he'll just put fuel in, but we'll see.
The question is, where does he come out?
It is, yeah. So Grassy's 22 seconds behind Gur, Pruski 24, Filthy 26, so I'm expecting to see about a 30-second pit. He might come out behind Daz even. So he could end up a long way back here. And he comes. We'll let you know if he takes tyres. He doesn't take tyres. Fuel only.
It's such a long transit time around here. About
It is. It's a
30
huge
seconds.
fuel stop. It's a huge. It was 15 seconds that he was clear on Dadson there because he didn't fuel up. Let's see. He's only put 75% fuel in. He's going to get himself out ahead of Daz here. No, Daz is going to get him into turn 1. He does. Go out in 7th place. And fairly low on fuel as well. Filthy as well. Very low on fuel. He's going to have to stop again. Yeah, Dadson is the guy with the most. Dadson and Pruski. So they might have calculated for an extra lap here because the rest of these guys are a little bit short.
So Dadson looking like he could go 2 for 2 in this championship.
I think he's got it wrapped up. I think he's got this absolutely covered. He's got so much more fuel than Smitty here, and he's already proven he can save tyres better. He's just got to hold him at bay for a few laps. He's got 1.6 seconds to work with, so I think we'll be looking at a Dadson win once again. My question is will Smitty make it to the end on his fuel? He may have miscalculated here, so we'll see what he does towards the end.
Yeah, he put in the same amount of fuel as Gur did, but Gur was 20% better on his fuel, and he did another lap before he put in more fuel. So
he did still short fuel though. He's only got slightly more than Daz. Filthy's way down on fuel. He's definitely going to have to pit very shortly. He's on about 48%. But he's going to have to run that down to 0 to get his money's worth out of his tyres, I think.
As Dadson crosses the line, starting the 17th lap of this race. Sets a personal fastest lap while he's at it too. So
you know, what's interesting here is the Stranger might actually end up in a battle with Gur again after all that.
Yeah, it's looking tight, only about 2 seconds between them now.
We got someone in the chat, Deeds Racing Fuel Guy has switched over to Dadson Racing recently, so that's why they've got their fuel numbers wrong. Well, they just didn't fuel up, that was all it was. They double stacked with Dadson and Gur and ended up only putting fuel in Dadson's car. Might be a bit of team bias there. Looking after their team owner before their other employees. So we'll see what Gur has to say about that at the end, whether he blames the team or takes accountability.
But the fastest first sector, by the way.
Yeah, I did see that. He is purple through Sector 1. It's a little bit unsurprising though, because these guys are operating fresh tyres on a lower fuel load than they were when their tyres were at this point on the previous stint. Smitty getting pretty close to Dadson up the front, by the way. He might be able to challenge for this lead soon. He's 7 tenths up on the fastest lap as well. He's absolutely booking it.
S-Mid.
Yep. Yeah, he's way up.
And he just needs to hook it up in this final sector. This is like a full qualifying lap for S-Mid at the moment.
Yeah,
Didn't
he's
hit the wall like he did on his qualifying lap though, so
he's going to be on for a 52-1 here, I think. He's going to need to save a whole lot of fuel though. He's not really doing enough. Flies into the chicane. He's pushing his tyres too. He's not saving those at all. I believe Smitty is a pad user, a controller player. I could be wrong though.
Here's Womble in chat. Can Womble confirm that for us? There's a 52.2. Absolutely blown the fastest lap out of the water by about 6 tenths there. 2
tenths shy of the fastest qualifying time.
And that gap just holding out at about 7 tenths, 7.5 tenths at the moment between Dadson and S-Mid.
The Stranger's had a bit of an error there. He's dropped 2 seconds to Gur. Actually, no, sorry, he's overtaken VF. What am I saying?
Yes. VF separated those two, and the gaps remained about stagnated at the moment.
Up to P8 now for the Stranger. He'll be wanting to chase down Gur. That was one of his rivals from the start of the race. Might even have been some contact between them, which we didn't see because we didn't see what happened to the Stranger. So, could be interesting to see what happens when they come back together. Gur really taking his time with Daz here, by the way. He really should be pushing to try to get by, but he doesn't appear to be at all.
Yeah, only 7 tenths between them, and that gap is closing up. Daz didn't really get a good exit out of that last corner. And also the Mercedes doesn't have the greatest straight line speed, but the Aston is one of the best in that category. As he dives down the inside, maybe a bit late, very late, and but he's cut off. Daz is going to try and go. Oh, he put him in the wall! He's pushed him into the wall. Oh, that's huge.
I don't know about that, but he ends up behind Gur, and he's going to have to try again.
We'll just
Nothing he can do to suss that out now, but he's going to have to challenge him again here.
Yeah, we'll just have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at that one as they head down in the back straight, and he's gone deep, but then Daz has taken the inside line and he's just pushed Gur into the wall a little bit, and yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what the stewards have to say about that one at the end of the race. As we're just getting word from race control that the incident has been noted and that it may be investigated after the current session. So thank you, Sector 1 Race Control.
Smitty is pushing as hard as he can here. He's all over Dadson, less than half a second separating them. We'll see if he sticks his nose out at the end of the straight here. They've cleared off from Grassies as well, 9 seconds clear of him here.
Yeah, in a league of their own, these two, and Guru would have been included in that category too in this race, but unfortunately making that that error with his fuel, and finds himself battling about the mid-pack at the moment.
Smitty not going to get close enough here. Dadson's fueled up so much that he can actually push all the way to the end by the looks of things. So the dynamic has changed. Smitty was pushing his car really hard in comparison to Dadson on the first stint, but Dadson's overcompensated for that with fuel, and now he can push too. So this is going to be very interesting towards the end, I think.
Yeah, I think every driver is going to tell you that the best way to do it is to start slow and steady and come home hard. We've only got one compound in this category, but a lot of strategies, especially last season, they were coming home on the soft tyre, starting on the harder compound. But yeah, you always want to be coming home hard.
Just seen a yellow flag disappear at the end of Sector 2. I think Grassies has had an incident because Pruski is now ahead of him, and Grassies has damage on the right front corner.
Yeah, that's massive. I don't think he got tangled with Prua because I'm pretty sure there was like a 2-second gap between those two.
Yeah, I think he's just spun on his own, but that's not what he would have wanted for his race. That puts Prua in the podium position.
But Mr. Prua in the Gallagher entry finds himself in 3rd position. Oh, absolutely.
Gur has finally got himself by Daz as well, so he's up to P6.
Yeah, so Gur still got his eyes looking forwards. Doesn't want to have that that small mistake influence his entire race, but heading forwards now, and the stranger following him close behind, trying to copy what Gur is doing. They both have the pace, as they showed us in qualifying, to just work their way through the pack, and they just need to execute that now.
So, quick bit of maths. If Gur wants a podium here, he needs to find about 6 seconds on Pruski. That's the gap at the moment, 6 seconds. So he's got 10 minutes to do it. It's probably enough for 6 more laps. So we'll see if he can.
Yeah, so that's like a second a lap, and he's absolutely flying at the moment. He is currently on track, based off the last lap time, to get that done. But
his tyre wear is fantastic again as well as Gur's. He's got the best in the field by a mile. I don't know how he's done it, but he's the ultimate tyre saver, this guy. He's absolutely nailed it. He's going to have the best car in the final laps, and will definitely be one to watch.
Yeah, he's got the best tyres in probably one of the best looking cars on the grid in the Bacchus entry here.
Just set his fastest lap as well with a 52.6 on lap 19.
Yes. As they come through turn 14, right on the back of Filthy's car now.
We're going to get the run, Gur, down to that first corner. He can't quite do it. He's going to maintain this position through there. Pruski's just up the end of the straight though, so he's only got so much time he needs to find.
As they head into turn 1, he's 2 tenths behind Filthy, Gur is.
Battle between Dadson and Smitty is hotting up once again. The fuel difference is now less than 10% between these two cars, so it is getting closer. I think Smitty might make it, you know.
Yeah, Dadson's sort of turning into conserve mode slightly. His lap time's starting to drop since the pit stop. After
The tyre wear is identical between these guys. There's nothing to split them except the fuel. So Dadson's definitely in mode push this stint.
Yeah, S-Mid closing up 6/10 between them. He's not going to be nowhere near close enough to make a move down into turn 9, but he's just making it, getting closer and closer as each lap goes by. Looking back down to Gurr, he's got the run on Filthy. He could be going for a move.
Here we go, late on the brakes.
Out.
Surely he does it.
He looks like he gets
First
it
person to
done
nail that
perfect.
corner all race during an overtake. That's fantastic from Gurr. Great driving, and that's the tyre advantage right there. Filthy looks to come back by again, but can't quite do it.
So
Up
Gurr
that
already
apex,
made
Gurr.
up
Don't let him
3
through.
positions since his last pit stop. Absolutely.
He's got the car for it.
stuff.
He's a little bit low on fuel though. Pruski and Dadson have about 10 or 15% on him, so the lap count's going to be interesting here. We've got 8.5 minutes left, or just shy of 8 minutes. I think, yeah, I don't know what the lap count's going to go to, but I think we're going to see some people caught out by an extra lap here.
For sure, yeah. So we'll just have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at that move from Gurr as they came down the backstretch into turn 9, and textbook move, gets late on the brakes, sticks it up the inside and says, "I'll take that." As they come through sector 1 now, the first tunnel of 3 around here.
Smitty's starting to fall off the back of Dadson a little bit. He's going to have to work really hard here if he wants this win.
Yeah, about a second gap now. That was 6/10 in the same spot last lap.
I'm really interested to see what happens with Gurr now that he's got clean air, because he's been held up for several laps by the cars around him. I think we might see some awesome lap times for the next few laps, given his tyre wear.
Yeah, clean air is exactly what he needs. He lost 5/10 between Prua on that last lap, but now that he has the clean air, he'll be able to push as hard as he can, try and catch back up, and that podium is still within reach for Gurr. Don't write him off yet, as we see a move in the background, I think. No, Stranger right on the back of Daz, thinking about getting past Stranger. He hasn't had the best race at the back.
It looks to
of
the outside of Daz, and
he's gone! He's gone into the wall.
The crest there's caught him out. It's a dangerous corner, that one. You're a little bit too late on the brakes, and you are spinning into the wall just like that. Absolute disaster.
A bad race has gone from worse to even more worse. I was going to say worser, but I don't think that's a real word.
He's just compounded in his bad luck there, and you know, he was caught out by the cars in front of him and being a little bit too close, and you know, unfortunately he's ended up down in 9th, but you know, he'll see what he can do here. Maybe he can salvage another position from VF, but all that hard work undone. Such a shame.
Yeah. So we'll have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay, and oh, it didn't take the replay. You are kidding. That is annoying. Sometimes technology is really annoying, but we continue on, and that gap between Dadson and S-Mid now out to 1.7 seconds. So Dadson really stretching his legs compared to S-Mid now, setting lap times are about 5/10 quicker on that last lap.
Dadson's really dropped the hammer here. He was 5/10 faster from on Smitty in the last lap, and about the same the lap before. So he's really pulled his finger out in the last lap, I think.
Yeah, so it's looking at the moment, if things stay as they are, that Dadson is going to go 2 for 2. Absolutely incredible. Man's in the form of his life at the moment. And if you remember back to when we did the Sylvia's qualifying, he actually did qualify for the top divisions. That would have been Division 2 or our championship, Go Kango Championship Group B. And after last season, he had a bit of a lack of confidence, finding himself in the bottom division for most of the season. But looks like he's really found his form here in Season 6 in this Sector 1 Supercars format. And he's absolutely flying, about to go 2 for 2, wins that gap, just increasing even more. 2 tenths now, but it was at maximum 2.3 seconds to S-Mid back. And Filthy's pit. Filthy's
into the pits, yep. So he was short on fuel, he had to come back in again. So he'll have to do a little splash and dash there to get himself to the end. Still 3.5 minutes to go for these guys, so definitely time for 2 more laps, maybe even 3.
Yeah, the gap between Gurr and Prua, it's edged itself out to about 7 seconds now. I think 4th is up for grabs for Gurr, but 3rd might just be a little bit ambitious. It's
a bit of a stretch. Gurr is on pace though. He hasn't had the best lap on lap 23, but lap 22 was an absolute flyer. So I think if he can pull that sort of pace out again, he might be able to salvage something here. But it might only be 5th for the second Dadson car and the first non-podium of the season for them.
Yeah, for sure. He did underfuel his car a little bit coming out of the pits, so maybe isn't able to push the car as much as he would like. But I mean, of course, he finds himself in 5th position. That's still not a bad finishing for the team. Only
it would not be a terrible result, no.
No, but
he's pulling that gap down. It is coming down, but he's going to have to find 3 seconds potentially this lap.
Yeah, so
I think they're going to do 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more sounds about right at the moment.
Smitty's going to have to be careful. He's running a bit low on fuel there. As are Grassies and Gurr. So I think we might see Gurr challenge Grassies here, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, he just seems to be closing up that gap. Sort of been stagnating throughout the past few laps, but they continue on, and we could see
Gurr nearly a second faster than the 2 cars in front of him on that lap.
Yeah, trying to use everything that that car can give him to try and fight back to that podium, but
his tyres are looking absolutely fantastic. I don't think that people will understand how much better his tyre wear is than the rest of the field. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's got ice packs in his wheel wells, but he's figured something out, and those tyres are looking fantastic, and it's allowing him to push all the way here.
Yeah, so the gap between Dadson and S-Mid now out to 4.4 seconds. So Dadson so dominant around here at Trial Mountain. Absolutely crazy quick.
We might be seeing a bit of a fuel save here from Smitty, because he is considerably down on fuel.
Yeah, 7-second gap between him and Prua. He should
Gurr
take second.
and Glassies are down to the fuel light. They got 10% left. Daz even less.
And they should get 1 more lap. So some of these guys might have timed their fuel to perfection. 1 minute remains on the clock now.
Smitty now on the fuel light. 1 lap to go. Dadson's still got nearly 25% fuel. He's so good it's not funny.
It's going to be
Smitty's going to have to be careful.
Of who
Brewski's got heaps. Grassies has next to none, as does Gurr, and Daz with even less. I don't know if Daz is going to make it to the line here.
Yeah, Prua's made up a second on S-Mid in just this final sector alone. It could be on. S-Mid
6 seconds. He's got a lot to find.
He's hit the chicane there, S-Mid. He could be hit with a penalty. Oh, he's wide. Oh,
he's just managed to keep it on there.
For sure. And it is the
Brewski
final
keeping
lap.
it nice and controlled though. VF crosses the line first to take the checkered flag. The Stranger, Killer on the loose, Benia and Filthy will also take the checkered flag. So Filthy might take on Benia to the line here. Keep an eye on that one. Not quite.
Benia crosses the line in 10th, Filthy 11th. As we head up to Dadson with a 5-second lead over S-Mid now. And the gap to Prua between S-Mid about 6.5 seconds. So Esmid should have second place.
I think he's
wrapped up.
alright. He needs to put that car in map 6 now and just short shift all the way home, I think.
Yeah, and another big gap from Pruitt to Grass is behind 4 seconds now. So aside if anybody makes a mistake into this final sector, it won't be the best.
Oh no, we've seen the commentators curse like that before.
Yeah.
No need to speak like that about these guys. Yeah, no words shall be said. So fuel numbers, Daz really low. I think he's going to run out, but thankfully he's got no one chasing him.
Gur
as well.
1.3 seconds on the back of Grassy's. He could
Grassy's has got like 1% more fuel than Gur, so I think Gur needs to back off here. He's probably not going to make it if he keeps pushing. Grassy's is in conserve mode, you can tell. Pruski with plenty of fuel. Smitty's going to make it. Dadson takes the win.
Absolutely.
Can he take an unbeaten season? Can he go unbeaten for the whole season? Imagine.
Esmid second place, and Pruitt deserving a third position. He got lucky with a few incidents of the guys in front of him, but solid drive, comes home in P3. Grassy's in 4th, Gur in 5th, and Dadson last person to cross the line in 6th position.
Daz nailed that. Daz's car coughed as he crossed the line. It was fantastic.
Wow,
what a drive
that
from
was
Dadson.
A great race.
Clinical stuff, 0 mistakes. That's how you win races, lads.
Dadson racing.
Yeah. Can he go for an unbeaten season? What do we reckon? I reckon he's right there. You know, I'm gutted for Gur though. I think that error with the refueling. Oh man, he deserved that podium. I think, and you know that would have been still 100% record for Dadson for podiums, but unfortunately not to be.
Absolutely dominant from Dadson in the first 2 races.
I think driver of the day, Smitty. I think that's his first race with Sector 1, isn't it? Did he do round 1?
He did do round 1, but it was a bit of a quiet one from him. I believe he finished in, let me just have a look. He finished in 11th, a very quiet race in the Green Beacon entry. But yeah, he'll be happy with the second place, bouncing back after a rather disappointing race from him in round 1. But great stuff. I think, yeah, I've got to give my driver of the day to Esmid as well. He just did great throughout the entire race. He was very dominant in that first stint and just lost out in the second stint. He did everything right that he could have done right, and yeah, great race from him.
Yeah, he really made that race entertaining, Smitty, and I think, you know, if Ghost was here, he would absolutely approve the drive from Smitty. Pushing every corner, trying to overtake every opportunity he got. Like, it was the mark of entertainment, and I think I hope to see more like that from Smitty. I know we can. I do know Smitty a little bit, and I know he's quick enough to be right up there competing for wins. So hope to see more of that from him, challenging the Dadson boys, because they're looking very strong as well. I think Gur and Dadson could be on to lock out every other podium for the rest of the season here.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a few driver of the day entries in the chat. So Womble votes Womble driver of the day. Brocky votes Gur, and a lot of people saying Pruitt driver of the day. So yeah, some great input, guys. Pruitt did have quite a quiet race. He had a bit of a battle with Grassy's, but in no man's land for the final 20 minutes of that race or so, but he did everything right, everything he could do right. He got it done, and driver of the day, Dadson. Yeah, Dadson had a brilliant race. So dominant.
I hate giving the driver of the day to the winner, but he does deserve it, to be fair, as much as any of the other guys. You know, it was a clinical drive from him. He knew exactly what he was doing. It was clear he'd put the practice in that he needed to. And he nailed his strategy, you know. Never for a second did it look like he was going to run out of fuel or run out of tyre. He just had it covered all the way.
Yeah, for sure. It was just a great race. Like, strategy was a large part of that race, and yeah, it was entertaining stuff.
We haven't really had a snooze fest all season so far, so onus on the Div 1 boys next up to give us a procession from start to finish.
Yeah, for sure. So next up, we'll just talk to Good Doc. How far away do we reckon the Div 1 boys are?
We're ready to go qualifying shortly. As soon as you sort of pop your way in here, bud, we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Yep, no worries. So while the game is
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah,
I'm excited for this Div 1.
Might have a look at the Division 1 points from last week, and there were no steward interferences, so no penalty points given out to anyone, but our last time out at St. Croix lined up like this, so TX3 GTR taking the win and a fastest lap, and Kiwi Raikkonen in second position with the pole position. And if you guys have seen that qualifying lap, that was a thing of dreams. A 3-minute 27 flat lap time around St. Croix is unheard of. But Kiwi Raikkonen comes home in second, Corgi in third, Distinct Andrew in fourth, Nux in fifth, Ricky Bobby sixth, Ando seventh, Corey Hack eighth, Hellraiser ninth, Morgan Davey 10th, Captain Muffin 11th, Lucky 12th, and Karen in 13th. So are we missing anybody tonight, Good Doc?
Yeah, we've got 11 cars tonight. So we're missing both Ando 787, who has food poisoning, unfortunate, and Captain Muffin is a late withdrawal as well. So we've got 11 cars tonight.
All right, no worries. As I'm loading into the lobby, qualifying is about to get underway momentarily.
Have a pleasant call, lads. Enjoy the race. I'm going to go watch from the pit lane, I think.
Yeah, thanks you very
mate.
much, Adam, for doing the Div 3 race.
Just changing the settings here, lads, to go to 50 minutes, which should... Oh. Yeah, I should be right. To wait for you to get into the lobby.
Yeah, PS4 taking a while, you know, old gen.
Someone's still initializing.
That would be me.
Still. It's not letting me change it.
There we are, now it should work.
Okie dokie. Let's try that again. Gotta love it, gotta love it, gotta love it. Alright, so 50 minutes. There we go. That should kick everybody off the track. As it does, let's start qualifying. Excuse me, PD, can we please have qualifying back?
If only we could have qualifying. As qualifying begins now.
Doing the good old agricultural start your stopwatch on your mobile phone. Alright, so some big times tonight so far. There's been whispers of some 50 flats going around.
What do you reckon? We see a 47 from Kiwi Raikkonen like he did last week, absolutely blowing the rest of the field out of the water. Could he do more of the same in this qualifying session?
Knuckles' car's invisible to me at the moment. I can see his name tag running around on his car, which is good.
Yeah, so as Noodles, he missed out on... Oh, that's not good. Noodles on my screen is invisible.
Nux is invisible to me, so it's okay.
Hate that for the viewers, though, that we can't see the car on track, but
hopefully it balances out.
Yeah, hopefully. Might try to exit and rejoin before the race. That might be the way to go.
I'll try it now and see if it fixes it for me. Where's Nux? No, it didn't fix it for me.
Oh, that's unfortunate. As Lucky Rounds turn 13 for the first time. As he comes down into the slow chicane of 14, 15. So, as I was saying, Noodles, even though we can't see him. He wasn't here for St. Croix. He had something on and he was unable to make the race, but he's here tonight, and he is one of the quick boys, so we'll see what he can do in the championship tonight as Noodles and Lucky start their first flying laps.
They want you to jump out of the lobby and try to jump back in. I can continue on if you want to see if you can get it to balance. I'll keep an eye on these guys floating around for you.
Yeah, okay, I might try that.
See if we can get it right before the race.
Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties, everyone.
It's a game-related one, we can't do much about it. As the guys are making their way around for the first lap at the moment. Noodles leading the way as he enters the back straight. Now, I'm not too familiar with the Viper. Does that have particularly long legs?
The Viper is one of the quicker ones in a straight line, but I think the Corvette is the overall quickest.
Yeah, okay.
And then the Aston and the Viper are very close behind, so...
Looks like everyone's been pretty straightforward. Looks like Ricky Bobby's picked up a penalty there so far, 0.5 a second. Corky there just right down the back of the field at the moment, which is different from what we used to see with these guys. Usually the FSR boys are sort of nose to tail through qualifying. Her racer bringing up the rear there in the CP Racing. That's a very vivid purple and pink livery they've got going on there. Alright, Noodles is just approaching the pit entry now, so we'll see what his first time is. That's a really cool looking Viper, that. Do believe that was a Womble livery, wasn't it?
Lucky's car?
Noodles' car, the ASR car.
No, I can't see it.
Alright, so he's going to break the beam to start us off with a 50.8. Just like that. Kiwi Raikkonen goes through to P2. Nah, never mind. Just Andrew goes with a 50.1 to the top of the tree. TX3 GDR to second with a 50.3. These guys are flying. Corey Hack just slots himself into P5 there in the red Miss Racer. Morgan Davey comes up to position number 6 as well in the Corvette for Deeds. Just looking back down the field. Here comes Corgi, goes to 8th.
And a bit of news on the Noodles saga. We have managed to get him back on our screens. So we'll just jump down and have a look at him now.
Happy days. As long as you can see everybody, it doesn't matter if I can't. So.
Yeah, I'll just run through the pack and make sure I can actually see everybody before we advance any... Oh, Corey Hack's gone.
Well, hopefully the race start will fix that for us.
Yeah, hope.
Silly game. Alright, these guys are all trying to burn fuel desperately in this session at the moment. You can see them banging off the limiter down the back straight.
I think I might try it again after the qualifying, so we can have full coverage during the session and then jump across and see if we can try and fix it later on. But so who is leading what? Because on my screen all the lap times have been reset.
Oh, lovely. So Distic Andrew is leading the way at the moment with a 50.1 as TX3 peels off to the pits. Kira Raikkonen peels off to the pits. So it's Andrew from TX3, then it's Noodles, Kiri Raikkonen, Corey Hack, Morgan Davey in P6, Lucky in P7. As he's about to cross the line again, he might improve. He does, goes to 6, just knocks Morgan Davey down a spot, which is awesome. Corgi there in position number 8, Hellraiser in 9, Karen in 10, Ricky Bobby 11, and Nux in 12. I don't think we've seen a lap from Nux, he's on a 2:08 so far.
As he comes through the last corner, what's it going to be from Nux?
It's going to be a quick one. He's right 49, 50, 51, never mind, 52.
Seen times from Nux throughout the week, and yeah, he's at least a second and a half quicker than what he's done on that lap. And has a bit of a moment into the first turn there.
Well, it looks like it's Noodles has got a 1 second penalty now on the back stretch.
Wonder how he picked that one up.
Karen's got half a second. He's just tucked himself in front of Kiri Raikkonen there, trying to get out of the way. Corgi's now elevated himself up to 5th with a 51.3. So he's starting to make his move now, Corgi.
And Karen has picked up a penalty as well, a half-second penalty.
How good do the cars here coming down into the hairpin? They sound really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Just got the chopper cam in there and just got TX3's car fly underneath it on the downshift. Alright, a couple of guys are slipping into the pits again now. So you've got Andrew in the pits, Noodles in the pits. TX3's already been in the pits, so he's going round. Here we go, look, the FSR cars. You've got Corgi and Kiwi Rocket and nose to tail now behind TX3.
As they come into turn 14 now, and Corgi goes into the pits. GTR leading, Kiwi Raikkonen behind. And it looks like this is their out laps at the moment, so no lap times for them right now.
I'm just trying to find someone that's actually on a lap at the moment. Noodles. So TX3 and Kiwi Raikkonen are the two top runners on the... Ricky Bobby there's got himself up to 5th position there quietly. Good job there from Ricky Bobby with a 51.2.
In the Gallagher Obsession entry.
Yeah, he decided he liked his car red, so it was red.
Yeah, at Obsession we all have our cars different colours at the moment. It's not great for colour coordination. I went on a bit of a rampage and have a completely different livery to the rest of the team. But
this is the season for that, I guess. So as we do the soft reboot of Sector 1 for this season, with a look to potentially go back to how we had it next time round.
So do you think we could get a readout of the positions at the moment, because my timing screen is still a little bit...
Of course. Andrew's still leading the way, currently on an outlap with his 50.1. TX3 into second position there with a 50.3. Then it's a 50.8 for Noodles in position number 3. Kevin Raikkonen with a 50.9 in position 4. Ricky Bobby with a 51.2. Corgi there with a 51.3. Corey Hack in position 7 with a 51.5. Karen in position number 8 with a 51.6. These guys are so close together. Lucky there's drifted down to position number 9 now with a 51.7. Then you've got Hellraiser in 10th with a 51.8. Morgan Davey in 11th with a 51.9, and Nux currently with a 52 flat in P12, who's about to get new boots.
Yeah, sounds like a plan from Nux. Might
So
just be sandbagging a little bit.
Put in perspective there for everybody, that means that practically everybody on the field, you've got to do better than a 52 flat to be even on the grid here in Group A.
TX3 GTR just set a 50.3, but he picked up a penalty on that last lap, so that lap will be invalidated.
Yeah, so he did a 50.330 against his 50.328 before, so he's actually slightly slower than his fastest lap. But this will rattle him now, because we're just gone over the 10-minute mark in qualifying. He's got a penalty to burn this lap, which is going to kill the next lap. Going to put him in a really awkward spot. Kerry Raikkonen rests on that Corvette there.
I hear the Corvette is a bit of a handful to drive, but he seems to be able to hook this car up.
I was on comms with Karen previously before the race tonight, and he said that it's very rear end happy. It likes to turn in with the rear first, so it makes it very good on the turn in, but it's a really unstable vehicle. As just quietly distinct Andrew now is 0.3 of a second purple through sector 2, so this is going to be a 49 if you can hold it together, which is just disgusting.
Yeah, we might just ride on board with him.
He's actually picking up a little bit of a slipstream here now too off Morgan Davey, which is awesome. It's going to help him out a little bit. Jerry Raikkonen peels off into the pits there out of P3, as Noodles just goes to P3 now, knocks him down I suppose, as Andrew's going to just bliss his time here. 48, 49.69.
Oh my, that is absolutely rapid. Goes, Okay, I was gonna say he goes 8/10 clear, but that's just on my schedule. How far clear is he of TX3?
0.63 above TX3 at the moment. That puts
That's
everybody
still
on
a
notice
massive gap.
in the car that apparently is not very good at anything, according to what I'm seeing in the chat. Adam's saying the Viper is average in every way and not very good at anything, except for going around the track in a 49-second lap.
Yeah.
TX3's got a bit of work to do now in the Aston Martin to pick up another 0.6 of a second. That's disgusting. And he's on a hot lap at the moment, TX3.
Let's see what he sets through the first sector.
This might have been hurt by that penalty burn though.
Oh, it's way off. Into this, yeah.
Noodles has been quietly improving as well. He's on a 50.5. He's a little bit under his lap, but not much. He's pretty much dead on his lap at the moment. It's just past the 12.5 minute mark. So these guys have to start wrapping this up. Enough time for everyone to get round again though. Apparently I've got to let him finish the lap now because I used to just hit go, but now I've got to let him finish the lap.
Yeah. There's still 2 minutes in this qualifying session, I believe.
Yep, just over 2 minutes.
So everyone should get one more lap at least.
Noodles is about to cross the beam, 49.50.5, 0.029 off his fastest lap still.
That's very tight, very consistent, but very tight.
Just looking to see, there's a lot of guys passing the grid box at the start finish line now, see if anyone's going to trip this beam. Any movements in the grid? I can't see anything at the moment. Kerry Raikkonen now about to cross the line out of 4th. He's way off pace at the moment. Corey Hack doesn't improve.
Ricky Bobby, he's looking alright at the moment.
He's looking
As
pretty
he
solid.
crosses the line,
No,
no,
52,
slightly
no.
off. 8/10. I swear at this track.
I can see
the
Knuckles
run-
now, by the way. He went
That's
through
good.
the pits. He says he went through the pits. I can see him again now.
Oh, I can see Corey Hack as well. There we go.
There you go.
So all is
Cross
well
is diverted.
and right in the on the track. We can see everybody now, and life is good. Life is great.
Interesting move there from Corey. Just watched him go through turn 1. He downshifted from 6th to 5th and let it ping off the limiter to help pull the car up into turn 1 through that sweeper.
So Nux is in last place at the moment, isn't he? He's going to have one shot at it.
He's done a 52.0. That's his fastest lap so far. I think he's had a bit of a disjointed qualifying at the moment. He had a couple of penalties, which has killed a couple of his laps.
Let's see what he does now as he crosses. Oh, he's way up. This is going to be a blistering lap.
He's got to do more than that though. He's 0.6 on his lap, which is he's still 2.3 seconds off the lead.
Just right on board with him now.
He'd be looking for a top 5. Just watching Andrew here at the moment as well. He's just finishing up this lap as we're 10 seconds to go. So this will be it. He's going to get Andrew's going to get around again. Alright, I'm going to write checkered flag in the chat for these guys.
As Nux comes through turn 9 and into the peak of turns 9 and 10, I mean 10 and 11, into turn 13 now. He seems to be hooking up this Aston Martin Miles in a brilliant way, and as he comes down into the final chicane, final series of corners. It's a very slow chicane, second gear or first gear in some cases. As he comes through the final corner, what's it going to be? He's very, a bit of a moment, but he keeps it in a straight line as he barrels towards the line now. And
Corky just improved to 4th.
Or as he goes
Nux to 6th.
Sixth quickest for Nux.
Corky improved to 4th right at the end there as well, so Noodles is weaving on the back stretch. Everyone else looks like they pulled up.
And that looks like
that's it.
done.
I better make sure that I'm entered. There we go. Alright, let's go racing.
So, 50 minute race with a safety car formation lap. About to go underway. So be ready, guys. Don't go anywhere. 50 minutes starting now.
These guys have practiced this 4 times tonight already, because they even the top of the tree, best in the country kind of drivers, keeps stuffing up safety car starts. The first one was abysmal. The last one was good, so
let's hope they keep it that way then.
these guys are eager to get moving.
As we head into the formation lap, good dock in the safety car. And
Just going a little bit slower to get these guys sort of grouped up a bit better, because they were strung out a little bit there.
yeah, so they line up like this tonight. Andrew is in pole position. He'll be very happy with that. Kiwi Raikkonen in second. And it is GTR in third. So GTR and Kiwi Raikkonen, they had a bit of a tussle last race, and it'll be interesting to see the championship between these front 3 so far in Season 6. So Corgi finds himself in 4th position for tonight, and Noodles in 5th, Nux in 6th. So sorry, I'm just writing these down as we go through so I don't forget later on. And then Ricky Bobby in 7th. Corey Hack in 8th position. Lucky in 9th. There's Corey Hack and Lucky just switched positions. I think it's Lucky in 8th, Corey Hack in 9th. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know why they're switching positions on the formation lap, but as long as they know where they're going, the stewards might not have to get involved. So it is Karen in 10th position tonight, Hellraiser in 11th, and Morgan Davey in last position.
Alright,
Okay.
Andrew's in control of the field. They're going to have to 2 by 2 on the way down to the chicane and get themselves through that chicane. And now Andrew's in control. He gets to go from the last pit box grid slot.
So they should be lining up 2 by 2.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tough track for this one, so they're just sorting themselves out. But they've got plenty of time to get gridded up on the front stretch here as well before they can go. Which they look like they're sort of doing. They're a bit messy at the back here, boys. Come on. There we go.
Somebody's missing. Oh, somebody was on the wrong side and he's gone, or...
Oh, there we go.
Start, but they are underway as Distinct Andrew heads down towards turn 1, followed by Kiwi Raikkonen and Corgi. GTR on the back of Corgi through this first turn, and Noodles in 5th, Nux in 6th. Seems like they've all got through cleanly so far, so that's a great start from everybody. They've got through cleanly. Oh, and somebody going on the inside. I think it was GTR all sorts of sideways as Noodles
GTR's
gets
all out of
past.
shape.
Might have just went very deep into the tunnel.
Morgan Davies way out of sequence. He's way back in 10th. What happened there? Wasn't he like 6th or 7th or something?
No, I believe Morgan Davey qualified towards the bottom.
Okay.
But
The 2
yeah.
Deeds Corvettes are right at the very back of the field. You've got Nux still in 6th. He's dropped a couple of spots. Corgi's got up 1 spot.
yeah, it's a bit of a different story for Morgan Davey from last week. He got up to a blistering start and was carving up the opposition in the opening laps.
Kiwi Raikkonen is looking to make a move already.
Oh, he just thinks twice. Thing is, with Kiwi Raikkonen in that Corvette, we noticed it last race, he just has to conserve a lot. So much, otherwise that car's just going to wear away from him. It is very rapid, that Corvette, but unfortunately it's a little bit hard on its tyres and fuel. So he just has to take extra care of his car, and is happy to just sit behind someone for a little while and take their slipstream, ease off and use less fuel and tyres rather than fighting aggressively. So he's just going to let Distinct Andrew wear away his tyres and fuel, cut through the air, make a hole so that he can just sit inside of. The gap currently 4.5 seconds, tenths My bad.
Okay, first lap is a 52.4 there for Corgi out of position number 3.
Very tight field at the moment.
Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on that TX3 out of position 4 at the moment. He stopped the spot off the start. Might have been that confusion with the guys that were on the wrong side.
Yeah, he took back that position off Noodles. So not too sure what happened there, but he's back up into 4th position.
And Nuxhead is taking on nicely there into position number 6. So keep an eye on him later in the race too, because he's pretty good and he's fuel safe.
Yeah, the narrative between Nux and Ricky Bobby this season, they went at it last race at St. Croix, and now they find themselves next to each other on the track once again.
We've had an issue here, guys. Looks like Karen and Hellraiser have dropped off the back of the field. Karen's got a horrifically large amount of damage, both front tyres, and the engine's just repaired itself now as it goes through the tunnel.
I would say that happened into that fast first section. You're just a little bit offline.
Oh, here we go. It's on for the lead here. Takes her down the inside. Grabs Corgi. Tried to get Kerry Raikkonen as well.
Too. He does. They're going to go too wide.
Oh,
they're going too wide. That's not good. Oh, somebody's going to die. Oh. Kerry Raikkonen holds on to it. Oh, my.
TX3, he got squeezed big time there and just kissed the rocks on the way through. Lucky not to pick up damage. I saw the puff of dust go up.
Yeah, they've PD have changed the damage model from last time the Division 1 guys raced, so you can get away with a bit of bumping and barging into walls.
Look at how close this pack is, holy moly.
Yeah, this is mega tight racing.
It's Kerry Raikkonen.
It's what, 4 seconds that separate the top 10.
Kerry Raikkonen. Make him look into turn 1. TX3 with that Aston Martin. It's really... Kerry Raikkonen clears the Viper.
Turns on the afterburners, Kerry Raikkonen. He's into the lead. That Corvette is absolutely rapid in a straight line.
It's really funny seeing a Viper with its massive engine just get swallowed up in a straight line like that.
Yeah.
Just looks weird.
Yeah, American muscle versus American muscle here. As the two, the Corvette and the Viper, they find themselves in 1st and 2nd, but Andrew...
it's TX3 here.
Under massive pressure from TX3.
Corgi's in with a sniff as well here at the moment. He's just hunting those guys. Noodles as well. And then you've got Knuckles right behind him as well. A little bit of breathing space back to Ricky Bobby in the 1st of the Mercedes-Benz. Followed by Corey Hack in the 2nd of the Mercedes-Benz. Those guys are running together. And then Morgan Davey just quietly making up positions there in position number 9.
And GTR goes for the move on Andrew. Sends it up the inside. He's going to have it done way before the straight. And that's a textbook move from GTR.
And Corky wasn't far away from pouncing on him too. Then the Viper just struggles in a straight line, doesn't it?
As Nux goes for a move on Noodles in the background, but doesn't really work out for him as he locks up into turn 9 and he can't quite hold the position.
Nux is getting a little bit impatient there, I think, out of 6 now. I think he wants to run with the front 4. And Noodles just might be holding him up slightly here because he's looking left and right at the moment, trying to find a way around.
So we'll just have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay now at that move. And yeah, so GTR had it done way before the corner there. So good stuff from GTR into the lead of the race. I mean, not the lead, what am I saying? 3rd position, 4th, 2nd. I just can't read, okay? I'm having a bit of a moment here.
Just so everybody knows, just have a quick run down the field. 5 laps in, and looks like everybody on the field has the same fuel usage at the moment. I can't see a definitive split between anybody. So even the Corvettes with their enormously thirsty LS motor is staying pretty even with everybody at the moment.
That's very interesting because it means that everyone is fuel saving around here.
Nux is probably the best on fuel so far in the Aston Martin, but not by a lot.
Yeah, something interesting to note is that the fastest lap so far, it might not stand as is, but as it is at the moment, a 51 flat is only 1 second off the Division 3 guys. And that was S-Mid that set that time of a 1:52.2 in the Division 3 race. So as Nux goes for a move on Noodles, can't quite get it done as Noodles
Ricky
just
Bobby
slams the door.
Ricky Bobby's starting to stick his nose in this little battle now. He's just got on the back of Nux now, 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, they're
Wants to get
battling.
involved.
They're battling up ahead. Just seems to reel him in. But something to note as well is that the Mercedes really makes up ground in the corners and the technical sections on the Aston and Viper in front of him. So he'll be gaining loads of time through the first and last sectors, but he'll lose almost all of it on the straights. So fuel saving, which most people will be doing, he'll be able to like lessen the gap on the straights and not lose as much time as what he would normally be losing.
Ricky Bobby, definitely a quick operator too in that Mercedes, so he's been a race winner previously, I think, Ricky Bobby. And he's just been getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Looks like Kerry Raikkonen now just starting to stretch the little lead at the moment to 1.7. Loses it all through the tunnel a little bit.
Yeah, GTR just sitting about 8/10 on him at the moment.
That fastest lap just come back down again to a 150.8, and he's gone
And
faster
he's
again through
purple.
sector 1. So he's lighting the wick at the moment in the Corvette, trying to just use up a bit of that tyre, a bit of that fuel, get himself a bit of breathing space. So he's through at the moment.
This is the kind of commentator's curse that we want. The commentator's curse in a good way. Saying that they're going a bit slow, and then they just speed it up, and he ramps it up by gaining another 2/10 on the quickest time.
This shows the level these guys are on though. They're doing 51.5s while they're easing off to warm the cars up, and now they're starting to just let a little bit loose here. These cars, mind you, are still 3/4 of a tank of fuel. You know, tyres have just come up to temperature. Oh, Kerry Raikkonen slaps the fence.
Ooh.
He caught
And
that fence on the left there coming down the hill.
GTR, that gap just closing up a little bit now.
I think the heart rate would have just went up slightly there for Kerry Raikkonen. That almost could have been damaged. Would have been damaged in round 1.
As they come into turn 14 now, this is such a slow chicane.
Nux has dropped back off the back of right back off the back of Noodles, and he's actually under pressure now from Morgan Davey, who's actually jumped Ricky Bobby. So something's happened. There's damage on the front of Nux's car. Something's happened there somewhere during that lap. Because Nux had damage, and Ricky Bobby's dropped back.
Positions.
Yeah.
Started 11th, and he finds himself in 7th at the moment.
And he's going to give Nux a big hurry up now too.
Yeah, for sure. Historically, for Morgan Davey, he hasn't really been a qualifying man, but his pace in the races is absolutely blistering. And he likes to work his way through the pack.
Well, actually no, let me rephrase that. He can drive on tyres that the rest of us look at and go, I can't even walk on those.
Yeah.
And he had that drive our last ever season on GT Sport, where he ran almost the entire race length on softs. He got it all the way then on tyres that were on the canvas and still managed to get home. I couldn't believe it. Unreal. Ricky Bobby's going to put some pressure on him here though, but he might not be able to keep up with the Corvette in a straight line. Slipstream tucked in with the Mercedes, but the Corvette's just got the look at him pull away there. Even with the Mercedes in the tow, can't keep up.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I'm not sure if his situation has changed as well, but last time I heard, Morgan Davey is still using Logitech G29 racing wheel, which proves to you that you don't need to chuck in loads of money to be quick. He is a prime example of using entry-level like steering wheels and like sim gear and absolutely getting the most out of it. So
okay, Nux is suffering a bit from front end understeer. I just got the lock light on the left front, and then the right front, the very next corner. So he's just struggling with a bit of front end grip in the Aston Martin at the moment.
As this massive battle pack sort of losing touch with the front four. We saw this at St. Croix, where after about a lap or so, the front four, they just start to peel away from the rest of the pack, as Nux sets a personal best of a 51.6 on that lap. And Noodles sort of finding himself in no man's land at the moment, sort of drifting away from Nux and Corgi in the 55 Ascension racing car.
Corgi's got a 2.6 second gap up to Andrew, and a 1 second gap back to Noodles.
True.
Just in the middle of nowhere.
So it's just these front three that are skipping away now. Seems to be a championship story shaping up between these three.
It's closed right up at the front again though. TX3 0.3 of a second off the back of Kimi Raikkonen again. He's definitely having another look at him.
Yeah, GTR in the Ragged Edge on point entry, and Kiwi Raikkonen in the Datsun Racing Bacchus Brewery entry.
Oh, it's on here. It's on.
Oh, he goes for the move.
Boom, done. Andrew's going to go with him. They both get him.
Oh, and Kiwi loses out massively, but could be a strategy. It could be a,
I need to save some fuel.
call. Yeah, yep. Exactly. Finding himself in front, he might not. He might be burning too much fuel. Oh.
Andrew just stuck the nose up the inside of Tesha. Just gave him a bit of a look in the mirror and just said, "All right, let's just see where we're going to go with this."
So we'll just have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at the two moves from GTR and Andrew, and they just both get it done way before the corner. So yeah, Kiwi Raikkonen goes from first position to third position in one corner. GTR leads the way.
Still on though.
Yeah, for sure. These front three, they're very tight, bumper to bumper, as they come through this first section. Oh, GTR, 2 wheels in the air through that second turn.
We don't want to do that too often. Let's Kiwi. Oh, Corgi goes really wide and they run into the tunnel. Just grabbed a bit of grass on the way in. Looks like Nux and Noodles are about to go at it again. He's bringing Walker Davey with him. This little mid-pack battle is just really, really interesting at the moment.
Yeah.
All the way back to 9th, Corey Hack he's still in with a shot to get up right up towards position number 4.
Yeah,
exactly. Keep it straight and narrow there. You think position 9 at the moment, like that's not where you want to be, but you know, he's in eyesight line. You can see as far up as at least Noodles.
Yeah, we have a sorry, I just completely forgot what I was going to... Oh yeah, I remember now. We had the similar story in St. Croix. That middle pack had about like 8 or 9 cars in it for most of the race, and it settled down after the pit stop, but could be the same story here on Trial Mountain as they come into the final sector.
Noodles is actually backing all these guys up because he's getting defensive, you know, on the lines he's choosing. He's sitting the car in the middle of the track to just block a line from Nux to try and make a dive. And this is backing him into Morgan Davey and again into Ricky Bobby.
Nux just drifting to the left-hand side, thinking about a move, but thinks it'll be easier to line him up on the main straight, I think.
It's all about that drive out of that final chicane. You get a good drive out of there and you're going to make up a heap of time by the end of the front straight.
As they cross the line, starting the 10th lap now.
So what's your pit window like in this race? Probably lap 13, are they? Or?
Yeah, we saw somebody pitting lap 12 last race. I think between lap 12 and about lap 15 is where we'll see these guys ducking into the pits. These guys might be able to get 28 laps tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. Last race was 27. They had a bit of a quicker formation lap, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Mobile reckons the top 3 should all be driving the Hyundais. The GDR still leading the way at the moment, 0.4 of a second, with Andrew right behind him here, keeping in touch.
As they come down the back straight into turn 9.
Kimi Raikkonen's just starting to drift away a little bit at the moment, so maybe the tyre wear's starting to get to him a little bit here. He's just a lock light on the front right there on the turn in.
Yeah, so what's the tyre and fuel story for these front 3?
Okay, so TX3 leading the way at the moment with about a quarter of his tyres down and just under half a tank. Andrew's very much the same, slightly less fuel, but like minuscule amount less fuel. Kimi Raikkonen's used the tyres a little bit more, but the fuel is about the same again. Corgi is a little bit worse again for both tyres and fuel. As the battle just looks like Morgan Davies cleared Nux in the background there.
Yes,
Noodles has really used up his tyres in the Viper. Fuel's not bad. Morgan Davies better for tyres, worse for fuel.
inner deeds it's what you would
Of
expect.
course, yeah. Nux is better for both. Ricky Bobby's better for both. Corey Hack's better again for both.
So yeah, Morgan Davey making up loads of positions. He's already found himself 5 positions ahead of where he started this race. So as we were saying earlier, he likes to work his way through the pack and he's good at it too. So keep an eye on Morgan Davey as he's eyes forwards in this one.
You see Andrew still just hold on to the back of TX3 at the moment. As TX3 has a big sidestep on the way through into the tunnel. It's going to kill his straight line speed.
Onto the back stretch now.
Any other car except for the Viper would be catching up by now, but the Viper just has no straight line speed. So it means Andrew's going to throw it at the corners much harder than everybody else to try and make up that deficit. Most of these Group A guys too are really tight line through the hairpin there. They tuck right in against the curb.
They come to the final sector now.
Look at this little battle here between 7th and East Nux. Ricky Bobby tucked right in behind him again. These guys are still going at it. Nux is just drifting a little bit down the field at the moment.
Yeah, but you also said he was doing better on his tyres and fuel. So
he is. Still seems to be battling that front end understeer though, because you can just see the tyres complaining as he turns in. Corey Hack there, got to admire the patience he has there, sitting in position 9. It's not where you want to be, but he's just tucked himself in there and he's just staying with this pack.
yeah, and the red and white, green beacon, red mist entry. I like what Red Mist have done with their cars this season. They sort of resemble the beer can, the green beacon beer cans, all different colours. I think we had Esmid last race in the blue and aqua version of it, and Killer in the red, green and orange version of it, and of course Corey Hack in the red. So looking alright.
The front two have now got a weight to the tune of 2.3 seconds over Kerry Raikkonen now.
Yeah, Kiwi Raikkonen really dropping back fast. So maybe just fuel or tyre issue.
Corgi too though, he's dropped off 3.7 seconds off Kiwi Raikkonen as well, so he's dropping back as well.
Could just be the fact that TX3 and Distinct Andrew are absolutely flying tonight. They're both still setting 51, low 51s, while Kiwi and Corgi, I wouldn't call them slow, but they're like mid to high 51s as well. But looking on the lap times, it looks like Kiwi's had a bit of a moment on lap 8. He's just lost 2 seconds there, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. Maybe that could be why he's
he's drifting so much.
A bit of pace, yeah. But yeah, these front two, they're still setting low 51s. We'll see what they set as they cross the line this time.
Just noticed then though, TX3 GTR there he's flirting really heavily with the rock wall in the last sector there as well. He just grazed it on the way down the hill on the inside there. So the cars are just starting to get that little bit loose now. The tyre grip's going away. So complaining on the way through there. You can hear the tyres screeching in protest. Andrew's just tucked himself right in there behind him again. Tucked right in underneath the back of him.
Yeah, this is where Distinct Andrew wants to be, just conserving his tyres and fuel from GTR as they come through turn 8 now. He's going to get another run onto the back straight, but I don't think he's...
TX3's just slapped the wall. He slapped the wall. It's going to be a run.
Yeah, he doesn't want to overtake.
He just nudges him.
Sit behind him.
TX3's actually got quite a lot more rear tyre wear than Andrew does. So the Aston's actually getting quite loose in the rear now. You can just see it starting to wobble. It's just the power comes back on. I dare say we might see Kira Raikkonen start to close that gap up shortly.
Yeah, he is. He's already gained about 6/10 from last time we were looking at him. And Corgi has dropped off the back as well. So Corgi...
Corgi's starting to drift
5
back
seconds.
towards the pack.
Yeah, Noodles...
Oh, T3 in.
Oh. So yeah, this is the... at the start of the pit window. Start of lap 13.
Nux is in.
Trying to undercut the rest.
Interesting. 3 have gone in, the rest have gone round.
Yeah, Corey Hack comes in as well. And it looks like Corey Hack, a little bit worse on his fuel, but TX3 and Nux absolutely identical as they come into the pits.
Move on there for 4th position now, and Malcolm David goes around Noodles on the front straight.
Yeah, so Noodles must have made a mistake because he was still sitting about a second ahead of them just a few corners ago, so maybe into the final chicane. But yeah, Noodles finds himself in 5th once again. So yeah, Noodles, he's back where he started this race. Started in 5th and then upped himself to 4th position, and now he's back down into 5th position again. So having a bit of an easy going race so far, as we're rounding the halfway mark of this race. But Noodles is going to get the run on Morgan. The gap isn't closing up as much as Noodles would have liked, as they come down into turn 9, and he's not going to go for a move. The gap down to Ricky Bobby 2 seconds now as well. And I would say that the rest of the guys should be pitting this lap. So we should see Distinct Andrew. He goes around again, and so does Kiwi Raikkonen.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're going to try and go for the overcut.
Oh, Morgan Davey made a really late choice to go in then.
Noodles in, Ricky Bobby in, Lucky's... we don't know whether he's staying out yet, but he does come in.
He's in, yep.
El Razor out. No, he doesn't come in.
We might see Morgan with a penalty here if he's not careful, because it was a very late choice to go in then.
Yeah, I think as long as you go in before that dotted line, you should be fine. So we'll see where TX3 GTR...
He's just coming down to the chicane now.
He should come out ahead of everybody here.
I'm looking at Nux. Nux is the important one. He's currently 10 seconds behind TX3. He's the guy that was in the pack. Already?
That's Ricky Bobby's out.
Wait, what? What did he do? He didn't fuel.
Oh, he didn't fuel?
No, no fuel in Ricky Bobby's car, guys, so he's in trouble.
He's done the same thing as Gurr did in the first race.
Nux has cleared everybody else. He's 2.7 seconds clear of Corey Hack, who was right behind him. As they... Oh, Noodles is gone! Him and Morgan Davey come together through the first turn. He's like, oh, he's caught it, he's caught it. No, he hasn't.
He's in the wall.
He got away with no damage.
So what, did they just get together in that first section and...
They both come out of the pits together, and they've got together there somewhere. I'm not sure where they've actually run into each other, but they've touched. And it sent Noodles way out of control. It's the 3 front leaders that are going to go in now, all on vapour. So TX3 should assume the lead of the race here.
Yeah, Kiwi Raikkonen looks like he's got the fuel advantage by a few percentages over Andrew and Corgi.
Don't think it's going to be enough to close down the gap. Ricky Bobby be kicking himself now currently, position 5, but that's not going to last long because that car's about to hit the fuel light. But it's fast. It's very...
Again.
He's just going to try and take a couple of laps with the car while it's light and fast. He has to pit regardless, so he might as well use the car up while it's got fresh tyres on it and it's light. Try and get a fastest lap. Or make up some time. He's sticking with TX3 at the moment, so he's definitely going to be a fly in the ointment. As I can't see anybody coming out of the pits yet. Anyone coming out? So Ricky Bobby's cleared everybody as they come out of the pits.
There's Distinct Andrew.
Yeah.
Comes out
Kiwi
about 4
Raikkonen.
seconds ahead of Kiwi Raikkonen then, so...
Who dove out across the line, so he got away with it. Corky's been jumped by Knuckles. Corey Hacks right on the back of Knuckles of Corky is oh. I had a look through the first sector there, so Corky's lost a lot of time. He's gone back as far as Morgan Davey.
As they come into the corner, and Corey Hack goes for a move on Morgan Davey, and he does get it done. But Morgan won't want that to happen. As he's going to get another run down onto the back stretch.
Morgan will be secretly loving this too. He loves a good bit of scrap. Looks like TX3's going to be well in control now. He's about 4 seconds clear of Andrew as Ricky Bobby's purple through the second sector. It's amazing
Might as well
the
pick
car's
up
got
the
no
extra
fuel.
point while he's at it.
Well, he's not going to be able to cross the line because he's going to have to go in.
Ah,
The car's really quick at the moment because it's got no fuel in it. The
Yeah,
fresh
it
tyres,
does
in he
come in.
comes.
unfortunate
Andrew.
mistake.
Let me just check out what TX3 did. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I was just wondering why TX3 got himself such a gap. He's 4.5 seconds clear. See, that's just interesting. He's underfilled massively. He's just on.
Oh, what a lap!
That would explain a lot of things. He's just under 3/4 of a tank. Whereas Distinct Andrew is over 3/4 of a tank. Kerry Ryken's over 3/4 of a tank. Nux is under. So the Aston guys are onto something here. They've got a different philosophy there at the moment. Corky's way over full compared to everybody else. Morgan's light. Corey Hack's very light. He's under 3/4 of a tank. Noodles is about 3/4 of a tank. Ricky Bobby's got half a tank as he comes out the pits in P11. So he may have underfilled anyway after all that.
Well, they've only got about 10 laps left, but I mean, yeah, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
Well, TX3 can afford to lift off a bit here and just ease himself back in because he's got 4.4 seconds. He doesn't need to push.
Yeah, he's still flying at the quickest we've seen all night in the race, that is, as he comes down to turn 13.
So Andrew, interestingly, has done a 2:06 and a 2:18. So his in-lap was really slow. It was a 2:06.
Yeah, well, it looks like TX3's in lap was a 2:08, so...
Oh yeah, I see. That's okay then.
There's
Nux is
GTR.
found himself in P4 at the moment.
Yeah, things have worked out for him. He struggled a little bit in qualifying, but he's found his pace now. Seems to have got the strategy right anyway. He has underfueled that car a little bit compared to the other cars on track around him, but we'll have to see what the Aston guys have figured out.
Just looking up and down the field at the moment for a bit of a battle. It looks like we've got one between Corey Hacker and Noodles. There's 7 and 8. So even Corey Hack's up 2 spots.
Yeah, Corey Ack started in P9 and he finds himself up into P7.
Andrew's just looked after Burnridge. He's into 50.4.
Sounds about right.
Everybody else has drifted. No, the 2 front guys are in the 50s now. Everybody else has drifted outside of the 50s. 51s and 52s.
The gap is closing between GTR and Andrew is purple. coming into the final complex of corners.
Yeah, he's lit the wick now, hasn't he?
Let's see what he can do. We'll just ride on board with him for a quick second as he comes into turn 14. And now 15. Great line through there. Gets on the power early. That's exactly
He's another
what we
quick
want.
one as well.
He's early shifting, so he might not go purple. He does. 50.1. And he was conserving as well. Blistering race pace from Andrew.
That's disgusting.
So just running through the order now, we have GTR sitting about 3.5 seconds ahead of Distinct Andrew, who's sitting 5.5 seconds ahead of Kiri Räikkönen, ahead of Nux in 4th, Corgi in 5th, who's under fire from Morgan Davey in 6th at the moment.
Morgan's got on a bit of pace at the moment.
Yeah, as Corgi sets his quickest first sector. Coming down onto turn 8 now. Morgan could go for a move. And Morgan isn't the kind of guy who's just going to sit behind and wait. He's going to take the move. He's going to go for the move if he has the opportunity to. So
100%.
But he's not going to be close enough to go for the move. He's still 5/10 away as they come to the braking zone. So I think we'll keep running down through the pack. We got Corey Hack in 7th, Noodles in 8th, Lucky in 9th, Hellraiser 10th, and Ricky Bobby, after his devastating mistake at the pit stop, he finds himself in P11, unfortunately, because the pit transit time around here is about 30 seconds straight up, and then he had to put fuel in the car. So it's not ideal, but he pushes on. If things go right, he could end up in 9th position, or pick up a few more where he is at the moment. Not great for Ricky Bobby tonight. And Karen sitting in 12th. He's had a bit of an issue. He's sitting a minute and a half off the lead. Not too sure what's happened there as he hits the wall going to there.
He's not had a lot of seat time because he's been under flood sort of threat for most of the last week or so in the real world. So he's sort of, apparently his sim rig was sitting up on top of the lounge room suite or something for the last 2 weeks to keep it high off the ground, just in case.
As we look up front again to GTR, the gap's closed down from Distinct Andrew to about 3 seconds now. So this could get spicy. There's about 7 to 8 laps remaining in this race.
The problem we've got at the moment for Andrew is he's using that fuel advantage up. That said though, Texter, he's definitely using those tyres as well, so the Aston just is not looking after this set of tyres.
And it looks like, I think, Corgi has... Corgi and Morgan Davey. Morgan Davey goes, thinks, oh...
Corgi's
stuck
really
his
wide through
nose
that
in there.
corner. He was like that last lap as well. Just
Yeah,
can't
he
get the
just
nose to come
leaves
in.
leaves the door open, and Morgan almost stuck it in, but couldn't quite get it done. And he's looking for a move down into the final chicane.
You don't really want to give Morgan too much of an invitation because he will jump down the inside if he gives the chance.
Exactly. As they head onto the back stretch now. I mean the main straight. Crossing the line for the 20th time. And I'm not too sure what's wrong with the track, but it seems like the Corvettes are just a little bit off the pace, or the race pace around here. Both Kiwi Raikkonen and Corgi just dropping back a little bit from where they would normally be, or what we saw at St. Croix, that is.
Yeah, I've heard from multiple Corvette drivers they're not very happy with this track. The car just doesn't feel comfortable here. Bit of an Aston hunting the ground at the moment, I think.
Yeah, it seems like the Aston, the Viper, and the Mercedes, they seem to be pretty good around here.
That gap's down to 2.3 seconds for the lead now. So Andrew's definitely using up the car, trying to catch him up.
Andrew wants this win.
We need two to stay in contention because this season we do have a drop round, so even though he missed round 1, he gets to drop the lowest point, so that'll naturally be the first round with no points.
Distinct Andrew was there for the first race. It was Noodles that was missing a sanctioned car, but he didn't have the best of races. He underfueled the car, and that's coming for another pit stop, where he finished in 4th, I believe, by the end of it, where he could have been on for the win, but fortunately, seems like fuel issues seems to be a recurring theme for this season so far across all 4 divisions. Seems like because the fuel calculation, because of the safety car formation lap, the fuel calculations using the in-game system get thrown off a little bit, and it's just catching a few people out when they fuel up their car. They think, oh, I've done 14 laps, I've used like 80% fuel, but then they're forgetting that they've done one of those laps where they've only burnt about 3% fuel. So
yeah, it does catch out. Caught me out last weekend at St. Croix. I underfueled, thinking I was looking pretty good, and then ran out of fuel with a lap to go.
Yeah, it's happened to a few people.
the guy in front of me on the podium ran out of fuel as well, so if I'd have got it right I would have got him, but you know.
Yeah.
You get that. A little battle between Corgi and Morgan Davies still going on.
Yeah, Morgan Davey just seems to be struggling to keep up with the Corvette of Corgi at the moment. Maybe running a little bit more downforce on that Deeds car compared to the Ammo Blacklight car.
He's definitely faster through the corners than Corgi.
Yeah. So that probably is. Oh! He's gone for a move, very opportunistic.
Good move.
Oh! That came out of nowhere from Morgan Davey.
That was a great move. Didn't telegraph it all, just dived down the inside there. Saw Corgi's car drifted a little bit wide of the apex, and yep, there's a spot for me to get in.
And we'll have a look at that on the Next Level Racing Action replay. Absolutely blinder of a move. Comes from nowhere. He was right on the back of Corgi and then just licks the stamp and sends it down the inside. Incredible stuff by Morgan Davey. As he's under threat from Corgi once again. It's turn 1. Corgi seems to be a little bit offline, but manages to keep it in a straight line as they head into the tunnel section. First of 3 tunnels around this track. And Corgi wants that position back from Morgan.
Yeah, he's in the attack mode, so we'll see how Morgan goes with the defensive driving part of it.
Yeah, Morgan has made up 6 positions this race. If you can hold this together, this is going to be an absolutely incredible drive from Morgan Davey.
This will be the telling one down the straight now. Does the Blacklight car have more growth in the straight line? Gap's coming down slightly. I reckon Morgan must be carrying more downforce because Corgi just makes a run down the inside there. He's going to get him into the hairpin.
Is he
deep? Look how deep he goes!
Hanging around the outside. Can he do it? No. Corgi goes through.
Almost.
The Blacklight ammo car.
That Deeds car's definitely got more downforce. That thing just turns so much better.
As they come down into turn 13, that's where Morgan Davey made the move on the previous lap.
These guys have got to be mindful. They're getting a bit cute here now, and you can just see in the background that Corey Huck's just starting to inch that gap in.
Yeah,
he gets involved here.
And Noodles not far behind him as well.
Oh, hang on, look at the lead here, guys. Just quietly. Andrew's caught TX3.
Oh, it's all shaken up here.
TX3's had a big problem there somewhere. He's made a big issue the last lap. He did a 52.4 last lap, whereas Andrew, did a 50.8. So TX3's had a big oops there somewhere, and his tyres are cooked.
5/10 the gap now. Distinct Andrew could be on for a maiden Sector 1 win.
Hopefully that wasn't anything to do with Karen that just passed as a lap car. Hopefully he didn't impede anywhere there, because there'll be definitely questions asked after a race if that's the case.
Yeah, for sure. That's... Yeah, as they come down into turn 9 now, Andrew might want to just stick behind for a little bit longer.
He started to flash the lights at him down the straight there too. He's definitely trying to unsettle him. TX3's in trouble here, I think. His tyre wear's looking really ordinary, especially the rear. Again, might be a downforce thing where he's just got not a lot of rear downforce on, and the car's sliding through the corners. Like, it will help him. The setup's obviously help him to get the nose to turn in, but the back end just looks loose.
Morgan Davies still right on the back of Corgi.
He'd be loving that. He'd be loving that. Morgan loves a good fight.
He's right on the back of underneath his wing. Oh, he's had a bit of a moment, but he could go for the move again. He does! He goes. Oh, but Corgi's very far up off the track.
Corgi ran wide.
Was there contact? Was there contact?
There was no contact at all. No, it was completely clean. Just I think Corgi opened the steering slightly to cover himself there, and he just ran out of road. So the intimidation.
Corgi's falling through the pack, and Noodles is going to have a move on him too.
That's an intimidation though. Morgan just put the car in inside and just went, well, if you're going to turn in, you're going to turn in, but we're going to crash.
Yeah, so we'll have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay.
Lead change.
Oh. As Andrew goes into the lead and now holds a second gap on GTR.
I think she's over, guys. I think Andrew's got it. GTR's tyres are really struggling at the rear. That car is a big issue.
Yeah, 3 minutes remain. Should be about 2 laps from where they are on track. They might get a third. It's going to be very tight regardless. But Distinct Andrew, he flies into the lead of the race, and this could very well be his maiden Sector 1 win.
Right, how's this battle pack going back here then? So Corey Hack's now getting pressured by Corgi down the inside. Straight line speed, that Corvette again coming into play. He just clears the poor Mercedes in a straight line. See you later, son. As Noodles has a look as well to the inside, gets him done.
Oh, no, he doesn't. Not quite. But he's got the run. Oh, Corey Hack very wide, and now Noodles is going to go through anyway. So I think we should look back on that Next Level Racing action replay that we had to cut short for a second there because of the lead change. But yeah, so Morgan, he's just stuck his nose in there, and it's sort of Corgi's just stepped to the side of the track and gone to the grass. But yeah, so as it stands, Morgan Davey 5th, Corgi 6th, and Noodles 7th at the moment. Noodles putting on pressure on the back of Corgi as well. So 2 minutes remain. I think, yeah, okay, they're definitely going to get one more lap. I don't think they're going to get a 28. I think that's a bit ambitious.
I reckon the 2 leaders are close to the fuel light. They're very close to the fuel light.
So there's going to be one more lap.
Kerry Raikkonen's completely fine for fuel. Nux is already on the fuel light. Morgan Davies fine. Corgi's more than he's got Corgi's got a quarter of a tank of fuel in the car still. So if any of these guys have to slow up, looks like Corey Hack's on the light as well. Interesting.
So Nux having a bit of a quiet race, finds himself in massive amounts of no man's land, but it's just been an excellent race from Nux, honestly. He's played the strategy well. And he wasn't blistering quick in qualifying, but he's managed to have great race pace, and he's just driven that Autobahn Lucky's Lawn Care Racing entry car all the way into 4th position. He started in 6th position, so he's made up a bunch of positions and finds himself doing pretty well in 4th position.
Alright, leader's about to cross the line for the final time. To go around one more.
And some of these guys aren't going to get another lap.
No, the rest of them aren't going to make it.
Did
So the top 3 will go round.
No, Raikkonen will finish as it is.
He's finished.
And Nux in 4th position. Great race from him.
Look at this battle pack. Morgan's going to get it.
So these guys have actually done one less lap than the Div 3 ones, but that's just because of the safety car lap. And Morgan in 5th, Corgi in 6th, Noodle 7th, Koryak 8th. Lucky rounds the final corner in 9th. Hellraiser 10th, and Ricky Bobby's already finished. So we look back up to Distinct Andrew. How does that work? How is Ricky Bobby finished before Hellraiser and Karen?
Because he was a lap down. He'd been lapped by the leaders already.
Yeah, but what about Karen? I don't know. Well, okay. It's good enough. As Distinct Andrew...
I think it was track position more than anything.
Yeah. So Distinct Andrew and GTR, they're coming through the final sector. And it was a great battle they had today, but it looks like it's going to go to Distinct Andrew for Ascension Racing in his Viper. Adam will be very, very happy with the finish today as he turns 14 and 15. A second and a half separates him to GTR, and Distinct Andrew comes across the line to take his maiden Sector 1 win. Congratulations, great job for Andrew, and congratulations to GTR on a brilliant P2.
That was a pretty good race.
Yeah, it was very spread out, but the action was still there, and it made for a pretty good race by the end of it. We had battles up and down the field, and it was great to see. So is it it was maximum points for Distinct Andrew. He got the fastest lap and the pole position, didn't he?
Yes, big sweep today for him.
So 33 points maximum going to him. Gets the hat trick, the clean sweep, or the grand slam. That's it. And congratulations to him. So, what are your thoughts on that race? Good job.
Oh, it was a pretty good race actually. I think there's some good battles up and down the pack. It was nice to see the leaders actually change their position a bit throughout the race there as well. But that mid-pack battle again was very good. Shame to see some of the guys drop off the pack early, and big shame to see Ricky Bobby there with that fuel issue, to drop him out of that middle pack as well, because he was right there with those guys. So otherwise, though, good to see some really clean, tidy driving from these guys as well. They're showing everyone how to do it.
Yeah,
it was really sort of chucking the nose down the inside and pushing anybody out of the way or anything silly. So it's good to see the nice clean driving.
Yeah, exactly. There was maybe one, the only incident I can think of is there might have been something that happened between Noodles and Morgan, but we won't know for sure until we look back after the race. But yeah, so there was battles up and down the pack. Everyone aced their strategy except for Ricky Bobby. He just had an issue with the fuel, and it happens. He wasn't able to get himself back into the race, unfortunately, but yeah, it was pretty good from everyone involved. Clean racing. So, who would you give your driver of the day to, Good Dog?
I'm not sure. Morgan Davey.
Yeah, Morgan had a solid race. Gained 6 positions, finished 5th by the end of it, so he'll be very happy with that. Started P11, came over to finish 5th. Deed's crew will be very happy with that one. I think I'll give my driver of the day to Nux. He just had a very quiet race in no man's land, but he did everything right, and he gained a few positions and capped off great display of racecraft and consistency. So yeah, we got a few driver of the days in the comments. We got Hellraiser for driver of the day, Nux driver of the day, Andrew driver of the day, and whoa, Womble's actually given his driver of the day to Distinct Andrew. He hasn't given his driver of the day to Womble, so I don't know what's going on here, but
or his own driver, which is interesting.
yeah. So any last remarks, good Doc, before we sign off? Or
just a big thanks to everybody that took time out of their Sunday night to give us a watch, and appreciate everybody that still supports us. It's excellent to see as we make our quiet comeback into the stream sim racing world. Thank you very much for tuning in.
yeah, so thank you to our viewers. For you guys are the ones that that come and watch it every day. I mean, not every day, every week. The drivers put on a show and you guys come and watch. And if you haven't already, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the Sector 1 channel. And if you want to get in on the action, make sure that you click the link below this video to join our Discord, where you can race with us as well. We have 4 divisions for all sorts of driver pace and categories. So yeah, thanks for coming everybody, and next week we have the Division 2 and Division 4, the Group B week at Trial Mountain. So looking forward to that race. Both myself and Good Doc will be racing in that one. So
Yay!
but yeah, I think that's everything. You got anything else to say, Good Doc, before we sign it off, or?
No, I'm all good.
All right, thank you once again to everybody for watching tonight, and congratulations to Dadson finishing, completing a 2 for 2 at the start of the season. Great start to his campaign, and Distinct Andrew getting his maiden win in Sector 1. So thanks